The ancient cocoon gives way. A crack splinters across the organic shell with a brittle snap. A piercing hiss of high-pressure steam screams out of the breach, and a geyser of candy-pink smoke erupts into the sky. The steam scorches the air, thick with a sickening stench. A suffocating blend of hot sugar and toxic magic. An irrational, crushing pressure sinks over the crater, and the whole family takes an instinctive step back. Then, the dome tears open from within. A joyous, high-pitched coo drifts out of the haze, like an infant's laughter. The smoke settles around a massive, round, elastic figure. The pink monster lifts his thick, chubby arms to the sky and stretches with a booming yawn.
Buu slept good!
He bounces in place, the rock trembling under his weight, and slaps his belly with a spongy thump. His tiny black eyes sparkle with childish mischief.
Buu happy to be out! Buu is awake! And Buu is very, very hungry!
Yes! Yes! The great Majin Buu!
The wizard levitates hastily forward. In his excitement, he flicks away the energy bubble shielding his Demon King, desperate to parade as the absolute master.
Majin Buu! Look at your master! It's me, Babidi. I set you free, so you will obey me. Kill all these wretches! Crush them! Now!
Buu stops bouncing. He tilts his head and blinks at the tiny, wrinkled insect, screaming its lungs out.
You heard the master, creature.
The king of demons can barely stand. His armor is fractured, his breath ragged, but his pride refuses to bend.
Hurry up and finish this. Do your duty. I've no time to waste on your laziness.
Buu's broad smile freezes. Silence drops across the plain all at once. The vents on Buu's head begin to whistle, spitting short bursts of scalding steam.
Why you yell at Buu?
His pink fists clench. His cheeks puff up like a spoiled child mid-tantrum.
Buu doesn't like being bossed around. And Buu hates people who rush.
Buu thrusts out one chubby finger, but not toward the screeching wizard, toward the impatient demon. A thin beam of candy-pink energy spits from his fingertip and strikes Dabura square in the chest.
What?
The Demon King's body crackles. His shattered armor, his red skin, his pride. All of it freezes, smooths over, and changes color in a fraction of a second. With a ridiculous pop, where the haughty monarch once stood, an enormous dark chocolate cookie crashes onto the rock.
Dabura? No, no, no! Creature, you belong to me! I am your master!
Yum!
The monster wolfs the demon down, swallowing almost without chewing. His face relaxes at once, and he rubs his belly, that huge vacant grin spreading across his cheeks again. Then his tiny black eyes slide slowly toward the wizard, left standing all alone.
Yum! Buu likes quiet. You too!
Babidi shrivels in on himself, paralyzed, certain he is about to become candy. But several yards away, a series of cracks shatters the lull, and Buu's childish attention snaps away from the wizard toward the new sound. The 4 stone statues, petrified earlier by Dabura's spit, begin to tremble. The wizard seizes his chance. While the monster is distracted, Babidi drifts quietly away and hides, trembling, behind a rocky spur. Forgotten by everyone. Across the plain, deep fractures race through the stone. The dark magic has just died with its caster. The crust bursts into thousands of fragments, freeing the imprisoned bodies. The Saiyan uncle braces himself against the ground, gulping down lungfuls of air. Beside him, Piccolo straightens and cracks his neck.
Vital signals interrupted. Temperature plummeting! That's impossible! My blood flow had stopped completely!
The petrification has ended. Then the king of demons has fallen?
The 4 survivors stagger to their feet, disoriented by their sudden return to life. A few steps away, the family stands rooted to the spot, barely able to process it. On a pure whim, this pink monster reduced the king of demons to an ordinary cookie, and his wizard master survived only thanks to a few seconds of distraction, now cowering somewhere among the rocks.
Glad to have you back with us, Dad.
Gohan keeps a casual stance, hands on his hips. His shoulders, strained to the limit since this crisis began, sink by a fraction of an inch. The specter of his ruined future recedes.
It takes more than that to keep me down.
Shield inoperative. Sensory arrays desynchronized. This is humiliating. My algorithms did not account for molecular restructuring of magical origin.
Bulla stops 3 feet away from him. Her face is a blank page, impossible to read. For 1 second too long, Bulla's blue eyes linger on the young genius's chest, quietly scanning him for internal injuries.
Everything is back to normal. You're fine. But next time, react faster. You almost ended up a statue for good.
I'm running a full system diagnostic, thank you. It was the processor's response latency that...
Kibito! Thank the heavens!
The Kaioshin helps his servant to his feet, then turns toward the family, his face ravaged by dread. He points a shaking finger at Majin Buu, who is licking the last traces of chocolate from his thick pink fingers.
You do not grasp the gravity of what just happened. Majin Buu has no master anymore! He is completely free! He is not a martial artist, nor a tyrant. He is pure magic, ancient and uncontrollable. He does not think like a warrior. He is a danger of an entirely different order.
With all due respect, Shin, he's just an obese monster with a big appetite. Raw power is useless without a tactical mind. We faced far colder, far more methodical threats than this. The situation is manageable.
Gohan underestimates the creature, making the fatal mistake of applying the android's cold military logic to an absolute anomaly. Standing apart, Vegeta never takes his eyes off the monster. A vicious sneer curls his lips.
Finally! No more pathetic middlemen! No more whining wizards! Just raw power! The ultimate test I've been waiting for!
Dismissing the god's warning, the Saiyan Prince takes one heavy step forward. Golden sparks already snap around his clenched fists.
Stand aside! This one is mine!
The Saiyan Prince plants his boots into the rock. A cavernous rumble rolls through the ground. Then a golden aura erupts around him, terrifyingly dense. Blue arcs of lightning lash the crater, scorching the stone with every strike. His hair stands sharper and more rigid, and the air itself collapses beneath the crushing weight of Super Saiyan 2. A golden flash, and Vegeta is instantly in front of Buu. His fist drives brutally into the pink stomach.
Ugh.
But instead of pulverizing bone, Vegeta's arm sinks elbow deep into the elastic flesh. Buu folds in half, his spine stretching grotesquely under the force of the blow. Then, he simply bounces backward.
That tickles! Buu likes playing!
We'll see about that!
Vegeta follows through. A lightning-fast knee under the chin launches the monster skyward, and the Saiyan chases him up into the clouds. Fists, elbows, heels, a storm of surgical strikes. With every impact, Buu's flesh flattens, twists, and stretches to absurd lengths, then snaps back into shape with a spongy sucking sound.
What a revolting texture! His flesh has no substance. But whatever he's made of, my power completely overwhelms it!
Clasping both hands together, Vegeta brings down a hammer blow of staggering brutality onto the monster's skull. Buu slams into the ground in an explosion of rubble. Before the dust can even settle, Vegeta dives, arm extended, and punches straight through his opponent's torso. The Saiyan's arm bursts out of Buu's back, dripping with sticky pink matter.
I'm hitting even harder than I imagined. This beast may be durable, but I'm tearing through him like paper. My years of secret training are finally paying off. So this is the cataclysm supposedly stronger than me. A joke.
Vegeta yanks his arm free. Buu staggers. The gaping hole in his chest seals within seconds, liquefied flesh gurgling as it fuses back together.
You hurt Buu! You hit too hard. Buu not liking this game so much anymore.
Floating several yards above him, Vegeta folds his arms. Eyes burning with absolute arrogance, blue lightning crackling across his shoulders, the prince looks unquestionably dominant.
I told you so.
Gohan watches the fight with half an eye, arms loosely folded.
We nearly panicked over a simple brainless monster. Look at him. No fighting structure, no tactics. This is nothing like the androids from my time. They were cold, surgical, relentless. This is just a giant punching bag with a high damage threshold. Stop being dramatic. The prince has the situation perfectly under control.
Ha! No kidding! The prince is just having fun, pounding the thing's hide to loosen up his muscles. Still, fresh out of my little stone nap, I'd have liked to crack at it myself.
The kinetic energy Vegeta is generating is fascinating. At this rate of impact, the pink specimen cells will reach their critical cohesion threshold in exactly 3 minutes and 14 seconds. Mathematically, the outcome is already decided.
A few steps away, Goku stays strangely silent. His arms are crossed, his usually cheerful face hardened by an unusual concentration.
Vegeta's level. Impressive. But it's not enough to surprise me. I know what it feels like to reach that stage. I've crossed it too.
Goku's black eyes never leave the pink mass, endlessly deforming and reforming beneath the blows.
Don't celebrate too soon.
Is something wrong, Uncle Goku?
This thing, its energy isn't like anything we know. It isn't normal ki. Something's wrong. The more Vegeta hits it, the more suffocating it feels. This isn't just an opponent, it's deeply wrong.
At the rear, Trunks, Bulla, and Pan have not unclenched their jaws. Unlike Raditz, they are not impressed by the prince's display of force. They trade one imperceptible look, heavy with unspoken meaning. A cold dread rises in them, setting the stage for a catastrophe only they can see coming.
He's dragging this out. Why is he taking so long? You never give this kind of anomaly time to adapt. We should finish it right now. One clean strike.
Because he's stupid. It's that simple. He cannot silence his pride. He never fights to neutralize a threat. He fights to validate himself. He charges in blind. He's going to be caught off guard again.
I don't like this. I can't sense any limit in that thing. I think Grandpa feels it too. Mr. Vegeta needs to stop playing around. It feels wrong.
Wait, what are you talking about?
The young genius stares at the twins and the girl, his analytical mind short-circuited by their calm.
You're discussing life, death, and a legendary monster with all the warmth of an exam board. You're complete sociopaths. Vegeta is dominating this cataclysm with absurd power. You should be applauding.
All the more reason to finish it before the whole thing spirals out of control.
High in the air, Vegeta lazily slips one of Buu's feeble swings and answers with a lightning-fast backhand, a stinging crack that echoes across the whole crater. The blow is not meant to injure, only to humiliate. Buu spins around and drops heavily onto his backside, one cheek reddened by the impact.
Get up, you filthy ball of fat! If that's all you have to offer, I'm going to get bored very quickly.
Silence falls across the plain. Majin Buu does not rise at once. His tiny black eyes narrow from the shock, and his lower lip begins to tremble. The creature's pink skin flushes suddenly scarlet, and the round vents on his skull flare open like petals. The joyous cooing dies. In its place, a piercing hiss of boiling steam pours off his body. The beast is no longer playing. The scarlet steam seeping from Buu's vents turns black, thick as tar. It does not disperse. It clings to the air, refusing to leave. This is no longer anger. It is something trying to get out. A thick gurgle rises beneath the skin, like a second creature waking inside the first. The pink flesh bulges along the spine, stretches to the breaking point, then splits open. A figure crawls out, dripping with blackish matter. It unfolds. Tall, gaunt, shaped like a blade, ash gray. Where Buu has round childish eyes, this one has only 2 black slits. The two creatures face each other at the bottom of the crater. The pink one, dazed and unsteady, pats his stomach. The gray one stands perfectly still.
Huh? There 2 Buus now?
Soon, there will only be one.
The gray one is already gone. He is on the pink one, his fist buried wrist deep in his cheek. A wet smack, and Fat Buu tumbles through the air, plowing across 50 yards of the crater wall.
Ow! Why you hit Buu? Buu didn't do anything to you!
The fat one staggers upright, tears filling his eyes. Then something ugly slides across his round face. Deep down, he too knows what cruelty is. He charges with a bellow, swinging his elastic fists like twin flails. Evil Buu slips them all. A tilt of the neck, a shift of the torso, a hair's breadth every time. His gaze empty with boredom. The dull crash of two rubbery masses collides again and again and again. The two halves of the same monster batter each other at the center of the plane. Neither looks away. Neither spares the slightest glance for the golden insect off to the side. And there, off to the side, Vegeta hangs frozen in mid-charge, fist cocked, aura bristling with lightning, 1 foot forward, ready to strike an opponent who has just forgotten he exists. The prince waits. 1 second, 2.
You must be joking! I am right here! I am standing right in front of you!
He fires a volley of energy straight between the two Boos. The blast drowns them in dust, and they keep hammering each other through the cloud without so much as a blink.
They're ignoring me! They're fighting each other like two beggars over a crust of bread, and they're ignoring me!
Nothing in his entire life as a warrior has ever insulted him so deeply. Far behind them, huddled against his rock, Babidi hardly dares to breathe. No one is looking at him either. For once, he thanks the heavens. Standing back, the small group retreats as one, overwhelmed by the scene.
2 now, of course. This is what happens when you drag out a fight for the sake of ego. We should cut them both down before they have time to stabilize.
He's right. We're not going to stand here watching them squabble. 2 or 1, it makes little difference. We go in and end this before it drags on.
But that's structurally impossible. You can't divide into 2 viable organisms like that. It completely violates conservation of mass. Where did the...
No one listens. Bulla has not taken her eyes off the gray monster for a single second.
He's the real problem. The fat one strikes at random. He's afraid. The other is holding back, saving something. He's already decided how this ends.
She's right. That gray creature is everything evil inside Buu, torn out in one piece. No hesitation left. No innocence. If it wins, he will never be a child again.
Down in the crater, the question has already been settled. Evil Buu holds Fat Buu by the throat at arm's length, his little pink feet kicking at empty air.
No, Buu doesn't want. Buu wants to keep playing.
The gray one's cranial tentacle swings down at his face. A thin, candy-pink beam burst from it, his own weapon turned against him. An obscene pop. Then, nothing. Where Fat Buu once pleaded, all that remains is a soft chocolate praline resting in a gray palm. Evil Buu lifts it to his mouth, swallows, and his entire body reacts at once. The gray flesh floods with pink, swells, and tightens into cords of muscle. He grows. At last, an aura lifts him, the first real one since this began, dense and thick. No magic this time, naked power. The two are one again. But now, the dark half is in control. The muscular pink colossus slowly rolls his shoulders. Super Buu. At last he turns his head, unhurried, toward the little golden man who has been shouting all this time.
You make a lot of noise.
Vegeta instantly stops shouting. A hunter's smile splits his face. At last, he has been noticed.
About time. I was beginning to think I'd have to ask permission.
He cracks his neck. The blue and gold aura detonates around him again, splitting the rock beneath his feet.
Now that the introductions are over, let's see if you're any better than your sniveling half.
Vegeta gives no warning. He streaks towards Super Buu, a blue and gold bolt, and lands a hook that knocks the Colossus's jaw clean out of place. A sharp detonation, like thunder breaking at ground level. The pink giant reels back, head twisted sideways. No time to recover. Vegeta is already inside his guard. A barrage. Chest, ribs, liver, chin. Every impact caves in the elastic flesh and snaps it back like taut canvas. Super Buu staggers, dazed.
Well, is this your superior form? You're bigger, uglier, and every bit as slow.
Super Buu bellows and swings back. a massive backhand that whistles through the air. Vegeta ducks under it with ease, lets the arm sail overhead, and shatters the elbow with a rising palm strike. The monster's arm folds the wrong way. He screams. Then, with a gurgle, the joint resets itself and the flesh stitches back together within a second. Vegeta pulls back several yards, hovering. A cruel smile splits his face.
Ah, now that is entertaining. You repair yourself. Perfect. That means I can break you for as long as it amuses me.
The battle electrifies the clouds. Outclassing the monster for sheer speed, Vegeta blinks into place above Super Buu and smashes his clasped fist down onto the skull. A shockwave cracks across the sky. The pink brute plummets, but the Saiyan catches him with a brutal knee buried deep in his elastic stomach. Buu folds in half with a strangled grunt. Giving him no respite, Vegeta spins and drives a roundhouse kick into his flank. The impact hurls the Colossus straight through the peak of a rocky spire, blasting it apart. Super Buu bursts back out of the debris with a stupid laugh, his torn flesh reforming in a gelatinous boil. The prince greets him with a frenzied volley of golden ki blasts. Blinding detonations chain across the pink skin, driving the monster higher and higher into the sky. The electric aura of Super Saiyan 2 snaps and hisses. Vegeta hovers in the sky with regal contempt, glaring down at his prey.
You are nothing but a common, self-repairing puppet!
Below, three figures have not moved a muscle. Trunks, Bulla, Pan. Three pairs of eyes watching an entirely different fight from everyone else.
He isn't women. He only thinks he is. That thing regenerates faster than he can tear it apart. And with every blow he lands, it studies him.
That's not even the worst part. There's no bottom to it! I keep searching for this thing's limit, and I can't find it anywhere! Mr. Vegeta is playing with something he doesn't understand.
A few steps away, Goku's arms stay crossed. He hasn't spoken in a long while, but his eyes never leave the monster for a single second.
You're right, Pan. This isn't about strength. There's something evil in there. Something waiting for its moment.
High above, Vegeta seizes Super Buu by the skull and grinds his face through the rock. Once, twice, 3 times, gouging a long, smoking trench across the floor of the crater.
Look at him! There is the universe's great nightmare!
A sponge that takes a beating and puffs right back up!
Not one technique, not one trick, nothing but a pile of meat that grows back.
He rips the monster from the ground, hurls him skyward, then catches him with a spinning kick that sends him crashing to the far end of the plane.
Stronger. I am stronger than I was yesterday. Stronger than I ever dared dream. All these years spent burning behind Kakarot. And now I am the one bringing down the monster no god could contain. With my bare hands. This is who I truly am.
The prince hovers above the devastation, aura roaring, drunk on his own power. He has never struck this hard in his life, and that certainty intoxicates him more than the battle itself. Below, Trunks can't take it anymore. His blade sings free of its sheath, and he leaps toward the monster still sprawled on the ground.
Enough. While he's down, we take his head and end this.
A golden hand stops him dead in midair. Vegeta has appeared in front of him, eyes black, blocking his path.
Sheathe that. No one lays a hand on this creature. This is my fight.
Your fight? This isn't a tournament, Vegeta. That thing is adapting with every second you give it. Can't you see that?
Vegeta doesn't let him finish. A backhand catches Trunks at the temple and sends him tumbling through the rocks 30 feet below.
The next time you raise that sword, I will turn it against you.
Trunks rises, a gash across his forehead, his aura crackling with rage. He's about to charge again, but a steady hand closes around his shoulder. Goku. He shakes his head, never taking his eyes off Vegeta. No one moves to stop him. And it's neither cowardice nor respect for his pride. It's calculation. Together, they could probably subdue him, but pinning him down would cost 2 or 3 able-bodied warriors. And in the meantime, the creature would be free to carve through the rest. Their only real strength is their number. All standing, all whole. To spend that strength against one of their own would mean losing already. As infuriating as it is to watch Vegeta showboat, leaving him to his fight is simply the least costly choice.
Let him. You can't stop a warrior like him by talking sense into him. He needs to know how high he can climb. Not everything is about numbers, you know.
And the day his numbers get him killed?
On that day, we'll all be here. Until then, stay ready. Don't take your eyes off him.
At the bottom of the crater, Super Buu rises. Slowly. He no longer charges. For the first time, he no longer even tries to return the blows. His two black slits sweep across the battlefield. They pass over Vegeta, then farther, over the rear guard. The kid with the wrist device lost in his diagnostics. The Namek and the tall, long-haired Saiyan watching the duel like mere spectators, their guard lowered. The brute has just grasped what Vegeta refuses to see. In a contest of raw strength, he loses. So he stops fighting with raw strength. And his gaze doesn't seek the weakest. It seeks the ones watching him without standing ready. A smile spreads slowly across the Colossus's face. Not a beast's grin, a calculating one.
He's planning something. All of you back there, get ready!
Trunks and Bola never lowered their guard. Alerted by Pan's cry, Goku snaps taut and throws a sharp look at Gohan, who stiffens in turn. But the other three, lost in the spectacle of the duel, have barely turned their heads. Vegeta has seen nothing at all. He is already charging his prey again, fist cocked, blind to everything but his own glory. Super Buu does not dodge. He welcomes Vegeta's fist with a smile. The real trap is somewhere else. Since the duel began, every blow he took has sent scraps of pink flesh flying to every corner of the crater. Everyone mistook them for debris. They are anything but. Silently, those pieces began to crawl, taking position one by one right beside the unsuspecting. Everything happens at once. In every corner of the crater, the pink scraps stop crawling and leap, a slimy snap, multiplied 20-fold. The Vigilant see them launch. That is all they need. Trunks slices the mass hurtling at him clean out of the air. Bulla pivots and lets hers bite empty space. Pan twists free of the sheet and bursts 10 feet up. Goku grabs Gohan by the collar and rips them both clear of the pink carpet erupting beneath their feet. The other three never see it coming. Hito barely lifts his head from his wrist before the pink flesh swallows him whole, like a tongue. Piccolo calls up his aura too late. 2 tentacles already have his ankles. Raditz roars, thrashes, tears away a fistful of gum. But 10 more strands seize him and pin him flat to the ground.
No, not me! I am your master, I am!
A pink net erupts from the very rock he was hiding behind and catches him across the mouth, cutting his scream short. 4 in 1 second. No one has time to make a single move to save them. The sheets flow back toward the center, dragging their 4 victims to Super Buu as he spreads his arms. The bodies sink into his torso like warm mud, a long, sickening slurp. He does not gobble them like chocolate. He drinks them. He takes everything, their strength, their memories, everything they ever knew how to do. The monster arches backward. For an instant, his skin ripples with colors that are not his own. His eyes, until now 2 dull slits, narrow and ignite with a cold gleam. A heavy dark cape unfurls across his shoulders and pools down his back. A warrior's mantle, stolen from one of the men he just swallowed. He is no taller, no more muscular, and yet everything in his posture has changed. This is no longer a brute. It is something that thinks.
The wizard! He took the wizard! This is no longer just a matter of strength. He has magic now, and all the others cunning along with it.
Hito, Piccolo, Raditz. He has them all! He has everything!
Gohan's pupils contract. His mask of arrogance and superiority breaks apart.
Dad! I made an error in judgment. I underestimated him, and now we're paying the full price.
Every trace of complacency vanishes. Gohan lifts his head, gaze locked, transformed into a pure battlefield commander.
The initial analysis was wrong. No more looking down on him. We restructure the offensive right now, or we all die here.
Bulla stands perfectly straight, perfectly still. Her knuckles turn white. She clenches her jaw so hard the muscles in her face start to tremble.
He didn't react fast enough. I told him. I warned him. If he wasn't faster, he'd end up a statue for good. He froze on his reaction time. That was the one mistake he couldn't afford.
Blinded by his ego, Vegeta lunges, golden aura crackling with lightning. Certain of his absolute dominance, he drives a devastating punch straight at his prey's face. A crystalline crack, like a cannonball striking armored glass. The fist slams into an invisible wall, a translucent violet barrier, straight out of the wizard Babidi's magic, soaking up the blow without the slightest fracture. The Saiyan's wrist rebounds, painful. Confusion freezes him for a fraction of a second. Before he can even react, Wizard Buu is gone. No teleportation, just the blinding burst of his new speed as the monster reappears in his blind spot. With ruthless precision, Buu drives his elbow between Vegeta's shoulder blades. Piccolo's power fused with Raditz's brutality shatters the prince's stance. Vegeta spits and folds in half, the breath knocked clean out of him. Mad with rage, Vegeta spins and unleashes a storm of attacks. A hail of blazing fists rains down on the monster. But Wizard Buu no longer takes the hits blind. His mind, sharpened by Hito's intellect and the Namek's martial cunning, reads every trajectory before it can land. He slips a hook by a hair, then catches a lightning-fast knee in his bare hands without even flinching. Vegeta falls back, roars in fury, and unleashes his Gallic gun at point-blank range. The enormous purple beam sets the whole area ablaze. Wizard Buu ducks under the attack with surgical precision, letting the beam pulverize the landscape behind him. Then he springs, surging up to crush Vegeta's chin with a bloody uppercut, and drives a vicious sidekick into his stomach that hurls the prince backward. The monster gives him no respite. Driven by Raditz's savagery, Buu rushes the off-balance Saiyan. His huge gray hand clamps over Vegeta's face like a vice. With monstrous strength, Wizard Buu drives him into the ground. He smashes the prince's skull against the rock and runs, grinding Vegeta's face through the stone for dozens of yards. He drags him mercilessly through the very trench the Saiyan carved earlier, while humiliating him. A reversal of cruel poetry. The ground tears open in a geyser of dust and blood. Wizard Buu stops. He lifts the broken body by the head and tosses it into the rubble like common trash. The electric aura of Super Saiyan 2 dies abruptly in a last crackle.
Pathetic.
Vegeta tries to push himself up on a trembling elbow. His armor is in ruins, his pride utterly annihilated by this display of martial superiority.
How? You were nothing but a sponge! You were nothing but a sponge!
The Prince of Saiyans collapses face first into the dirt, utterly defeated. His pride has just cost him 4 allies, and handed the monster the very weapons now breaking him. And the worst is yet to come. Below, Pan can't take it anymore. White light erupts around her, far beyond anything she has shown until now.
Ah! That's enough!
She rockets toward the monster, fist charged, moving fast enough that even Wizard Buu turns his head toward her, but a bloodied hand closes around her ankle mid-lunge. Vegeta. Broken on the ground, and still he holds her back.
No! Stand down!
Mr. Vegeta, he's going to kill you! Let me go!
I said this was my fight! It still is.
Pan hangs suspended, power still streaming from her fists, held back not by the monster, but by the pride of a man who would rather die than yield his place. Above them, Wizard Buu slowly folds his new arms. He does not attack. He waits. He savors it. He has just surpassed the proudest man on the battlefield. He has strength. He has magic. He has cunning. And across from him, the only one who might still stop him has her hands tied by another man's pride. Vegeta's hand clamps down on Pan's ankle, killing her charge on the spot. On the devastated plateau, the prince is down on his knees, armor in pieces, holding the girl back by the ankle. Behind them, the others close into a half circle. Goku, Gohan, Trunks, Bula, Shen, and Kibito. Above the battlefield, Wizard Buu floats with his arms crossed. Vegeta's eyes stay locked on the gaping craters, the makeshift graves of Piccolo and Raditz. His white-hot fury wavers, then dies, crushed under an ice-cold clarity.
Don't go!
Let go of me! Have you seen the state you're in? Boo humiliated you, dragged you through the dirt like a broken puppet! Let me go before his magic swallows every one of us! Your ridiculous pride isn't going to cut it this time. Let me finish the job!
The insult bounces off him without landing. His battered fingers open, releasing the girl. Without a sound, the broken silhouette straightens up with a sickening crack of bone. His face, suddenly like stone, has been purged of every trace of ego.
Fall back! Far from here!
What? What's gotten into you? I'm faster than he is. I can dodge his spells. I can burn him to ashes before he lifts a finger.
I said get out! All of you!
Vegeta, don't go back out there. That monster has Piccolo's tactical mind, Hito's genius, and Babidi's magic. Facing him alone, in the state you're in, is plain suicide. Our only chance is hitting him all at once.
Vegeta, listen to me! I underestimated that thing once today, and it cost us Piccolo and the others! Don't repeat my mistake! Alone, like this, all you're giving him is one more body to swallow.
The savage arrogance has drained out of his eyes. All that's left is the unbending verdict of a commander, broken by the price of his own mistakes. Meeting that stare, Goku understands the prince's decision is final.
Gohan, Trunks, Bula, Pan.
We're pulling back right now.
Grandpa, this is insane! You're not seriously going to let him do this? Look at him! He doesn't have a scrap of ki left. He can barely stand! One hit from Buu and he's dead!
That thing swallowed 4 of them while I was taking my time with it.
Wizard Buu's high, mocking laugh echoes across the field, the monster hovering with folded arms, patiently waiting his turn.
It's my fault. Settling the account is on me.
You're going to die for nothing! You idiot!
Kakarot, take your brats and clear the zone. Don't make me say it twice. This is an evacuation order.
The proud possessiveness has given way to a funeral authority that silences everyone. Goku seals the moment, dropping a heavy hand on his granddaughter's shoulder.
We're leaving. Don't get in his way.
Goku pulls away fast, taking his family with him. Alone before the monster, Vegeta closes his eyes. A killing ember catches fire deep inside him.
Hold on! He's pushing past his absolute limit. The blast is going to be devastating!
Grandpa, let me go! I'm begging you! Don't let him kill himself! He's got no energy left! If he sets that off, he'll disintegrate from the inside!
Pan, look at him. That's not ki anymore. He's burning his own life force to feed the reaction. He's overloading every single cell on purpose.
The ground splits open. Vegeta's aura, faltering at first, roars back up in a blinding geyser. Monstrous lightning tears through the sky.
What a dramatic display, and how utterly pointless.
What do you hope to achieve, fallen prince?
Your mortal body will crumble under its own pressure.
You'll die as ashes before you ever so much as brush me.
Wrecking his opponent's calculations, Vegeta erases the distance. He slams into the monster, locks his arms around that rubbery flesh, and seals his white-hot grip.
What are you? Release me at once, you disgusting ape! Your pathetic little blast won't even melt my magic skin. You're wasting your time! I have no intention of killing you, you stupid pink lump of lard. All I have to do is hold you here. No! Stop! This is impossible! Let go of me! I refuse to be pinned down by garbage like you! I am the Prince of all Saiyans. Save your illusions for hell and burn with me.
Clamped onto Wizard Buu, the prince's titanic aura contracts violently, sucking all the oxygen.
His energy is completely gone.
No. Stop looking, Pan. It's over. He's gone.
I thought he still wanted to prove he could crush that monster on his own. But at the end, there wasn't a shadow of misplaced pride left in his eyes. Only iron resolve.
There's no body, no debris, no usable thermal trace, not the faintest residual signature. He disintegrated himself deliberately, down to the last cell. I have nothing to analyze. For the first time, there's absolutely nothing to calculate.
I should have been the one to hit him, Grandpa. I still had all my energy. If he'd let me go, he wouldn't have had to erase himself like that.
It wasn't your job to fix his mistakes. He knew that perfectly well. It was his last choice as a warrior.
He swallowed his entire ego to make up for his mistake. He asked for nothing. Not even forgiveness.
He did what I couldn't do. He admitted his mistake, and he paid for it himself right away. Me? I just corrected my analysis.
He chose to die as the Prince of the Saiyans, with all his dignity.
The hot wind moans through the shattered rock, carrying the ashes of the explosion away. Around the glassed pit, the survivors stand motionless. The grief settles on their shoulders, silent and final. A wet hiss breaks the heavy silence. At the bottom of the scorched crater, a pink mass twitches. The shapeless sludge starts to boil. Violet filaments, born of a sinister sorcery, violently stitch the shreds back together. Wizard Buu rises, rebuilding his torso, his face, then that horrifying grin. His magic body, the fruit of the absorbed sorcerer, pulses in the light. He is panting, battered, but fully regenerated.
No, tell me this is an illusion. It's impossible. Vegeta's final explosion put out enough to melt a moon. It should have vaporized him down to the last molecule.
Raw power was never going to be enough. That body isn't flesh anymore. It's magic. You can't burn it out. You can't drain it. It rebuilds itself out of nothing, as long as its essence holds. Vegeta's sacrifice didn't buy us a victory. Only a few minutes. Just enough to pin him down.
A suffocating wave of pressure slams across the battlefield. It isn't coming from the monster. It's coming from Pan. Her tears evaporate in a terrifying heat. The grief has just given way to an absolute rage, unbearable in its coldness. A deep, crushing hum rises off her, like the vibration of a reactor about to melt down. The Supreme Fighter lets go of her last restraints. A blinding white light wraps around her. Under the pressure of her aura, the rock disintegrates, and huge slabs of granite tear themselves out of the ground.
He's taken far too many lives today. He erased Piccolo, he absorbed Raditz, and now Vegeta killed himself for nothing! It's over, Grandpa. I refuse to let him breathe one more second. I'm going to wipe him out of existence until there isn't a single cell left.
That kind of power. The atmospheric pressure is collapsing around her. This is infinitely beyond anything she's ever shown us. How could she have been holding back a reserve like that all this time?
Pan, do not go in there! Look at him! He just barely put himself back together. He should be backing off, covering up, catching his breath. And he isn't moving an inch. No fighter just stands there like that. He's waiting for you.
He isn't waiting for you! He's already started! That vibration in the air, that isn't ki! That's an incantation already running! Pan, don't go near him!
The warning is lost in a deafening crash. The air explodes behind Pan in a sonic boom. Launched like a meteor, her fist charged to the limit, she has just passed the point of no return.
Pan, stop! Don't do it!
The young warrior's face stays locked on the monster below. Nothing can stop her now. The distance melts away. Pan's fist, wreathed in destroying light, is only a few meters from Wizard Buu's face. But the monster doesn't even try to dodge. His grin widens. She dives straight at him, fist loaded with light. Wizard Buu doesn't move. He brings his wrists together, fingers splayed in a cursed mudra. His lips move at a frantic speed. A violet halo traces a glowing pentacle in the empty air, and the air itself begins to shudder and twist.
Papa-rappa!
What is... Ah! Grandpa! Help me!
The incantation finishes 1 millisecond before impact. Space folds like torn canvas. A dimensional rift, black and yawning, opens right on the girl's path. Carried by her own momentum, Pan plunges straight into it in mid-flight. The anomaly snaps shut around her, pinching her out of reality. Her aura vanishes at once. The silence comes back down.
Pan! Lock onto my key! Where is she? Where did he send her?
Her line was perfect. That attack should have shattered him.
I can't find her. Her energy is completely gone. Nothing. Nowhere. An absolute void. A limbo. Sealed off out of my reach. I can't lock onto her to teleport, and I can't get to her.
And she doesn't know instant transmission, Dad. She's trapped. She'll never get back on her own. He just tore the strongest of us away in a single gesture. After Vegeta, now Pan.
The rift closed without residue. No signature, no anchor point, no exit vector. There's nothing to follow. Nothing. My daughter just vanished in front of me, and I have nothing to follow.
Wizard Buu hovers calmly above them. The savagery has left his eyes, swept out by Hito's intellect and Piccolo's tactics. He won the exchange, but his flesh is still smoking. He looks the survivors over with absolute contempt.
Vegeta's sacrifice slowed me down, and that little fury could have become a problem. Finishing you now gains me nothing. I am missing one last piece. I will return when not one of you can lay a hand on me.
Nah! You're not going anywhere, monster! I'm not letting you run!
The monster calmly raises his arms, crosses his wrist, and spreads his fingers in front of his face.
Solar flare!
An unbearable flash of light bursts out of Wizard Buu's body, drowning the whole area in a white glare that instantly blinds Goku, Gohan, Trunks, Bula, Shin, and Kibito. Every one of them with their hands clamped over their eyes.
Arr! Heads down. Don't follow in with your eyes.
Dad, I can't see anything.
That's my father's technique. Raditz thought it was beneath a Saiyan. A coward's trick.
And he still worked on it for months anyway, just so he'd be the only one of us who could pull it off.
He used it at the dinner table to make Goten laugh.
I'm the one who taught it to him.
He hounded me for weeks to show him.
And that thing just threw it back in our faces.
When the light dies down, the sky is empty. Dust turns slowly over the scorched battlefield. And 6 figures stand spread apart in the ashes. Goku, Gohan, Trunks, Bula, Shin, and Kibito. 2 places in the line standing empty. The survivors sway there, what's left of a family. Vegeta is dead. Pan is banished to Limbo. And the nightmare has fled to forge the weapon that will finish them. The scorched ground still smolders. Goku, Gohan, Trunks, Bula, Shin, and Kibito drag themselves back to their feet. Blinking, their retinas still burned by the flash.
He's not far. I can feel him just fine. He's going straight east.
He isn't even masking himself?
No. He's not trying to hide. He's trying to get there first. Don't move! I'm sticking to him.
2 fingers press to Goku's forehead, and he vanishes. He materializes 3 kilometers away, out in open sky, fists clenched. There's nothing in front of him but a corridor of churned air, and the roar of a wake. Wizard Buu is already somewhere else. Goku vanishes again, reappears. The wake again. The emptiness again. He reappears among his family, out of breath, his face closed with rage.
It's not working!
I land where he was. By the time I get there, he's already further out. I can follow him. I can't get ahead of him.
Then we run him down the honest way.
6 simultaneous supersonic booms flatten the ground. Goku, Gohan, Trunks, and Bulma tear off in Super Saiyan 2, 4 golden streaks slicing through the ash-choked sky. Shin and Kibito trailing far behind. On the horizon, a pink dot skims the tops of the clouds. The chase begins. 4 golden comets against a pink dot that refuses to grow. They gain ground, meter by meter, but every meter costs them.
He said he was missing one last piece! Anybody got an idea where he's going?
The Dragon Balls. If he gathers them before we do, it's over.
Negative. He's holding a heading. A real heading. Dead straight. No correction since he left. You don't fly a straight line toward 7 objects scattered across a planet. He's going toward 1 point.
She's right. His magic had already locked onto a target before he ever ran. You don't lock onto objects. You lock onto a living being.
Bulma switches her visor to mapping. The line of the trajectory extends on its own, kilometer after kilometer, until it slams into a name.
The heading points at the capital, more precisely at the Capsule Corp compound.
He's going home?
He isn't going home. He's going shopping. He absorbed Raditz. He has his memories, his habits, his roots. He knows that compound better than half of us do.
So what do we have down there that he doesn't already have?
Nothing. Technology. He has Hito's brain. Strength. He crushes us. Magic. He has Babidi. He isn't missing power. He's missing what power can't buy.
The red line on the map tightens again and again until it points at a single building. An old tin roof off to one side. One that nobody bothers to put on the compound plans anymore. On Bulma's visor, the extended trajectory stops dead on the south hangar. Beside her, Goku, Gohan, and Trunks fly at full speed. Faces turn toward her.
The line stops on the south hangar. 1 building, 1 occupant.
It isn't Bulma who says the name. It's Gohan's voice, 2 meters to her right, and it doesn't sound like anything they've ever heard.
Guldo!
Guldo? The Ginyu? What would Buu want with a guy who was never worth anything in a fight?
He isn't going for a fighter! He's going for the one thing nobody else on this planet knows how to do!
Nobody has ever heard Gohan scream. The field commander is simply gone. He overtakes Goku without even noticing.
I'm the one who spared him on Namek. I'm the one who set him up out there. I stop by twice a month so he can go over my time displacement models. He's the only one who hears me out to the end without laughing.
Her voice doesn't shake. It's her fingers that tighten on the edge of the visor until the knuckle goes white.
I asked him 1,000 questions about my models. About his, I never went further than the effect. What sits underneath it? What makes it possible? I never dug. I filed it away as a party trick, not as a system.
I know him! I'm going!
Uncle Goku! He's the one who raised us out there! Pan and me! Bring him back!
Goku doesn't wait for the end of the sentence. He vanishes in mid-flight.
Dad, wait!
But the lead was taken from the very first instant. From the flash. From the exact second they had to stop and think while he was already flying. A rusted hangar, overrun with ivy. Inside, Guldo carefully waters a small flower pot sitting on a metal crate. 5 years of silence. The former elite soldier has built himself a tiny life, an invisible one, set to the rhythm of water dripping from a watering can.
Another quiet day. Just one more.
A low rumble makes the tin roof tremble. The watering can slips out of the alien's 4-fingered hands. A monstrous pressure crushes the oxygen out of the room. Guldo drops to his knees, choking, wide eyes fixed on the doorway. He knows it's for him. Wizard Buu steps through the shattered double doors. Guldo crawls backward through the dust, shaking from head to toe.
Don't run. Raditz told me a great deal about your talents, little thing. You have an absolutely exquisite gift, and I intend to make it my own.
No! I'm not a warrior anymore! Leave me alone!
Guldo fills his lungs until his chest could tear open. He holds his breath. The color washes out of the room. The world freezes. The dust hangs suspended in the air.
Run! The forest behind a wall!
His little legs pedal frantically toward the emergency exit. Blood hammers in his temples. His lungs burn. 1 second of effort, no more. He breathes out. The sound of the wind snaps back all at once. Guldo gulps down air in relief. His face smacks into a pink chest. Wizard Buu is already waiting for him at the far end, arms crossed. Guldo collapses on the ground in tears.
A straight line. The most direct escape there is. Piccolo would have hoped for better. You're depressingly predictable.
Please, I never did anything to anybody. Not ever again. The little one comes on Thursday. She comes every Thursday. She never misses. Somebody has to tell her I won't be there. She's going to wait outside the door.
She won't be coming. I took care of that a quarter of an hour ago.
A thick mass of pink flesh bursts out of Wizard Buu's belly. It comes down on Guldo, swallows his legs, then wraps him whole. The little alien screams, clawing uselessly at the pink paste pouring down his throat. A dry crack of air inside the hangar. Goku materializes 3 meters away from them, hand already outstretched. All that's left of Guldo is 4 clenched fingers jutting out of the pink mass.
No!
There aren't 3 meters to cross. There's half a second, and it's already spent. The mass pulls back and returns into the monster's body. The fingers disappear last. Goku's hand closes on warm air. Goku stands frozen, arms stretched into nothing. Wizard Buu stands in front of him. Guldo's flower pot lies overturned in the dry dirt.
Half a second. That's a fine score for someone who had to wait to be given a name.
He never did anything to you. He was watering his flowers.
And that's all he's been good for since you let him slip away. Such a waste.
A short cutting hiss tears the air as the cranial vents of Wizard Buu violently suck the room dry. Wizard Buu goes completely still. 5 seconds of absolute stillness, frozen like a statue, testing the depth of his new power. Then a thin wisp of smoke escapes from his head. His muscles relax.
Perfect. From now on, they won't even be able to graze me.
Gohan, Trunks, Bula, Shin, and Kibito land in a cloud of dust in front of the gutted hangar. Goku is already there, standing in the middle of the debris, his back turned, and Wizard Buu faces them all. No trace of Guldo. The air reeks of crushed rock and upturned soil.
Too late.
Bula closes her eyes for a moment. One slow blink, that's all. Then her gaze falls on the shattered pot, and she looks away at once. Gohan doesn't look away from anything. He crosses the debris without a word, kneels in the spilled soil, and sets the little overturned pot upright. He stands it straight, as if it could still be good for something. He stays there, on his knees, in the rubble, the flower pot held upright between his hands. Behind him, Goku, Trunks, Bula, Shin, and Kibito stand motionless. Wizard Buu watches them do it.
He taught me to read. In the other world, when there was no one left to do it.
Gohan.
And he held the door while we ran. A guy at 10,000 units! He held the door.
You're saving me the trip. That's very thoughtful of you.
Shut up.
A deafening electric surge rips across the yard as Trunks erupts into Super Saiyan 2. The ground shatters under his boots. He charges at blinding speed, sword raised, closing the distance in a flash.
I've got him!
A hiss, and the cranial vents of Wizard Buu suddenly suck in the air. There is no dodge, no block, no blur of movement. For a fraction of a second, Trunks cuts through the air, certain of the impact. The next instant, the sky spins and his back slams into the ground. There was no transition, no in-between, just a terrifying void. Rock cracks open in a horrific, grinding roar. Trunks is embedded in the concrete, jaw bloodied, his eyes shaken by the emptiness he just went through. Wizard Buu is in the exact same spot, arms crossed, a hissing jet of steam briefly escaping from his skull.
That was it. That was exactly it.
Guldo. I saw him do it 1,000 times. He held his breath, and the world stopped.
Except with Guldo, you could see it coming. He puffed up his cheeks, he went all red, you had time to back off. This time I felt nothing. Not a flicker of ki, not a shift in the air.
Because it isn't Guldo's power anymore. It's Guldo's power run through a sorcerer's body. Babidi's magic amplifies everything it absorbs! What the little one could barely hold for a second, at the cost of visible effort, this thing triggers without a single sign!
My predictive visor is showing nothing. A total blank. It's blind. Exactly like us.
Nobody had to go looking. They all understood. The second Goku saw the pink mass close over Guldo. It's far worse this way.
So we know exactly what's killing us. And it gets us absolutely nowhere.
Here's the part I like best. You have the answer, and you're just as helpless. Knowing has never stopped a fist.
We can't stop him from stopping time. We can take away the space. We saturate him! Everyone strike at the same time! Don't leave him a single angle to reappear in!
Goku, Gohan, Trunks, and Bula erupt into Super Saiyan 2 at the same instant. The asphalt caves in violently under the pressure of their golden auras, and Shin and Kibito fall far back. 4 terrifying powers crush the oxygen. The attack is a masterpiece of synchronization. Goku from above, Gohan head-on, Trunks and Bula on the flanks, no blind spot, the perfect spatial pincer. A hiss tears through the tumult, a brutal intake of air. Goku's fist punches through the pink skull, but it's empty air that cracks. Wizard Buu isn't there anymore. No blur, no spatial tear. His mass has simply stopped occupying those coordinates. A wet burst of shattered bone. A pink knee has just driven into Gohan's ribs. There was no wind-up, no shoulder movement, no momentum. The strike already existed, locked at full force, buried deep in the half-Saiyan's chest. His mouth fills with blood all at once.
This isn't possible. I'm watching his shoulders, his footing, his breathing. Everything you watch on an opponent. He sets nothing up. He never leaves. And the blow lands anyway.
A hissing jet of steam escapes from Wizard Buu's vents. Gohan is spat straight through a massive concrete pillar.
Ah! Die!
Trunks brings his sword down two-handed. To the millisecond, on the opposite axis, Bula fires a devastating heel kick at the target's neck, a short, very sharp intake of air. The pink torso vanishes. Wizard Buu has settled exactly between the two of them, crouched at the precise blind point of their momentum and their trajectory, as if he'd had hours to measure the perfect location of their mutual failure. The flat of Trunks' blade slams violently into Bula's wrist in a disastrous emergency block. Wizard Buu, crouched beneath them, stares at them in silence. Another thread of steam shoots from the monstrous skull. 2 pink hands lash out, seizing a lavender face and a blue one. Buu smashes them into each other, then crushes them into the ground, plowing the tarmac with their skulls. The Old South hangar gives way completely. Tons of rusted sheet metal and twisted beams collapsing in a deafening roar. The chaos settles under a thick cloud of gray dust and pulverized cement. Goku, Gohan, Trunks, and Bula lie in the ruins, auras out, covered in rubble and spitting blood. Wizard Buu stands upright at the center, perfectly spotless. 0. 4 elite warriors saturated the space, attacked from every angle, coordinated their fury to perfection. The number of blows landed on the monster is 0. Goku pushes himself up in the middle of the rubble. Gohan, Trunks, and Bula are still down, and Wizard Buu watches them, arms crossed. Goku's aura erupts, flooding the air with blinding lightning. Super Saiyan 2 pushes his own engine to its absolute limit. He is magnificent, overwhelming in raw power. The undisputed summit.
Stay down.
A deafening surge of energy, and he charges alone, heavier than a mountain, faster than sound, a hiss of air, bone cracking heavily, and the result is the same. The space he strikes is empty. The next instant, Goku drops hard to his knees, hit in the stomach by a colossal force that left no trajectory in the air.
I've never had this problem.
You didn't see it either!
Usually, if a guy's faster, I read his movement. If he hits harder, I take it. If he hides, I find him. But here, there's nothing to catch up to. The hit already landed on me. It's not about level or strength. I've got no grip on it.
Goku presses 2 fingers to his forehead. He vanishes, reappears right on top of the monster, fist cocked, over empty space. He does it again. Empty. Again. A third time. Empty. 3 times in a row, he materializes around Wizard Buu, each time throwing his fist at a spot the monster has just left.
An instant transmission's no good either. I land right on him, and he's already gone. Same as before, up in the sky. I always get there after.
Clarity, at last. The invincible great ape has just realized his muscles are worth absolutely nothing against the absolute. Your brother clenched his fists the same way when he was losing. It's almost touching.
If he outclasses even Goku's power, we're dead! Overwhelming him with force was our last angle of attack. Brute force is useless here. He just neutralized our best weapon without even raising a hand. We're completely stalled.
Goku, normally non-stop and overexcited in a fight, stays frozen on his knees in front of Wizard Buu, arms hanging limp. Gohan looks at him in horror.
Gohan, I don't know what to do.
The ruins are smoking. Bulma pushes herself up painfully, her suit torn. She takes no fighting stance. Gohan, Trunks, and Goku lie near her, and Wizard Buu waits in silence.
Hitting doesn't work. Continuing to hit is a pure waste of energy.
So, what do you suggest?
A reading!
Inside her visor, the screen shows no system error, but it is a total blank. No red vectors, no escape lines, no spatial probability pointing at Wizard Buu.
A reading of what? We already know everything. He stops time. End of story.
Knowing that he stops time, that's just the name of the disease. It never let me cure anyone. What I want is numbers. How long he holds it. How often he can do it again. And above all, what happens right before. No power triggers without announcing itself.
Guldo held his breath. You could see it coming from miles away!
Then this one has his own version of that. Quieter. I'm going to find it. 2 possibilities to start with. Either my capture rate is too slow and he slips between 2 frames, or he really doesn't move at all. I'll start with the simple one.
Bulla's fingers race across the temple of her visor. The counters spike, then settle at the very top of the scale.
Frame rate pushed to maximum. Gohan, attack him! I want as much movement as possible between him and me.
Understood!
Gohan tears himself off the ground and charges, shoulder first. Bulla tracks everything. Her cousin's trajectory, the gap between the 2 bodies, every scrap of air separating them. A dull impact, and a body goes flying backward faster than it came in. Gohan slams back into the ground, folded in half. Wizard Buu has not shifted a single inch. Bulla freezes the recording and walks it back frame by frame. The sequence is clean, complete. Not 1 fraction of a second is missing between Gohan's charge and his body flying back. Nothing was lost.
Well, did you get what you needed?
For the first time in this episode, Bulla's voice falters.
No, the capture is perfect. He isn't too fast. There's no hole in the footage. I just made you take that hit for nothing. I was looking in the wrong place.
What do you mean, the wrong place?
I was filming the attack. I was filming our side. I need to stop watching what we do. Trunks, your turn. 1 direct strike, as fast as you can.
Are you insane?
Manual timing. Do it.
Trunks forces his weight onto bloodied legs and hurls a blazing blade of ki. This time, Bulla doesn't track the attack, or the trajectory, or the space. She kills the automation on her visor and locks on to one thing only: the two slits on the monster's skull. A hiss cuts the air, and Wizard Buu's cranial vents suddenly suck in.
0.0.
A brutal impact. Trunks crashes heavily onto his back, struck in the chest before his attack has even traveled a meter. A thin thread of hissing steam jets from the target's vents.
Delta 0.
What are you talking about?
I've got it! The two slits on his skull pull in air right before every freeze. That's his version of the held breath. And on the way out, they release steam. There are your two markers. He inhales, time stops. He exhales, time starts again.
The word lands in the middle of the ruins. Nobody picks it up.
Then we have a window.
We have the entrance and the exit. We have nothing in between. I don't know how long he can hold it, or how many times in a row, or what forces him to let go. I can see the door open and close. I don't know what's behind it, and I don't know how to jam it. I had the source sitting across from me twice a month for 5 years. I made him proofread my equations. I never once asked him what it felt like when he did it. If Pan were here, we'd cross-check our readings, but I'm the only one watching.
There is always a price. Magic on this scale always carries 1. Babidi himself wore himself down holding his spells. But I cannot tell you what that price is, nor when he will have to pay it. I see the power. I do not see the bill.
So, we have a name, 2 markers, and an invisible bill, which amounts to nothing.
Wizard Buu turns and looks at Bulla. Around them, the debris smolders. Goku, Gohan, and Trunks still lie on the ground.
A brilliant diagnosis. Edo would have been so proud. Did you know that it was his intelligence that turned this anomaly into a weapon? Without that poor boy's brain, Gudo's gift was nothing but a survival reflex. Thanks to him, it became absolute.
The white screen of Bulla's visor reflects the monster's pink eyes. Her jaw locks shut, hard. No words, no pleading. Bulla's clinical control shatters. A torn scream saturates the air with electricity. Her Super Saiyan 2 erupts. The golden aura doesn't spread out. It compresses to the extreme, armored by a pure, terrifying rage. The rage of a girl who never allows herself a single crack. She doesn't charge in blind. She forces her opponent to act. She opens with a devastating frontal attack and baits the dodge. A sharp hiss. Wizard Buu's vents suck in air.
The window! The steam!
A thread of steam is released. Wizard Buu reappears on the Saiyan's left flank, already in striking position. But Bulla's real fist was waiting at exactly those coordinates. She hadn't aimed at his starting position. She triggered her true strike to the millisecond, to catch the end of the freeze at the exact instant the steam escapes. A titanic impact. Bulla's fist sinks deep into the pink torso, folding the monster in half. The shockwave disintegrates the ground and the last foundations of the hangar.
She got him.
For one dizzying moment, the victory is real. Then, violet filaments burst from the gaping wound. The pink flesh stitches the torso back together at a sickening speed, trapping the girl's arm inside.
Edo's idea. Babidi's magic.
With one dry twist, without a trace of anger, Wizard Buu snaps her forearm. Bone crushes, and a stifled cry tears out of Bulla. The monster takes her apart methodically. A backhanded knife strike rips her shoulder out of joint. A second blow prints itself into her ribs. The screen of her visor bursts into 1,000 shards of tactical glass. One last surgical knee to the abdomen drives her down into the concrete. Bulla lies crushed at the bottom of a crater, her suit in tatters, her arm folded against her, unable to move. She stays conscious, gasping. Wizard Buu stands over her.
Stay alive. You have the best eyes in this family. I want you to watch the end.
The crater of the south hangar smolders. Goku, Gohan, and Trunks are sprawled in the rubble, covered in blood. Bulla lies further off, unable to lift an arm. Shin and Kibito hang back, helpless. The asphalt is soaked with Saiyan blood. Not one of them has the strength to get back on their feet. The collapse is total. Wizard Buu walks slowly among the bodies. Not a word of anger, not a laugh of madness. The calm of the absolute.
The hard part is done. Time to harvest. One by one, from the richest to the blandest.
The monster stops above Gohan. The half-Saiyan is face down, his breathing shallow.
Your fighting potential will serve far better on the inside. Your father is already in there, after all.
Goku growls. His fingers claw at the dirt. He tries to lift his chest, shaking from head to toe. Further off, Trunks tries in vain to prop himself up on his broken sword. A hiss. A thin thread of steam escapes the pink skull. Buu's heel crushes the back of Goku's neck while his palm pins Trunks to the ground. Their faces hit the rock with no transition at all. This isn't about courage anymore. They are simply finished.
Vegeta died for nothing. The void swallowed the last one. We've got nobody left.
No, there is only me left.
The pink flesh of Buu's arm splits and widens above Gohan, ready to swallow him whole. The motion is committed. The outcome is certain. A piercing crack. A scream of shattering glass, high up in the atmosphere. Wizard Buu stops dead. His pink mass halts inches from his prey. For the first time, the confidence drains out of the monster's face. He raises his head. The black sky above him splits from end to end. A vast tear scars the night, exactly where the banishment spell was cast. The fabric of the dimension is giving way. Something is striking from inside the void, hammering at the barrier with terrifying force. A white light, unbearably violent, begins to bleed through the cracks.
That's the signature of the dimensional prison!
That pressure...
That's impossible.
The vault of the sky screams under the repeated blows, the tear widening inexorably, pouring a torrent of blinding light down over the ruins. A deafening crack splits the air, like reinforced glass giving way. Above Wizard Buu and Gohan, the sky tears into thick black spider webs, and before anything even comes through, they all feel it. On the ground, Goku, Gohan, Trunks, and Bulla lift their heads at the same time. Further back, Shin and Kibito take a step away.
What is that?
This is not possible. No mortal creature puts out energy like that. None!
It's coming from the rift.
None of them have ever felt anything like it. Not from Vegeta at the peak of his pride, not from the monster who just crushed every one of them. The pressure bleeding through that crack is like nothing they know, and it keeps climbing. Wizard Buu raises his head toward the fractured sky. His folded arms do not move, but his chin lifts. Space itself twists. Two hands burst out of the rift and seize the void on either side. With one savage pull, with unbelievable violence, they tear the seam open. A muffled detonation rolls out, followed by a shockwave that sweeps the dust out of the crater. Pan erupts from the breach in a blinding golden halo, an enormous mane of gold streaming behind her. Reality spits her out, and the gold dies instantly. The light pulls back, the mane drops, blue and short, like a candle blown out. Whatever energy was left just went into that door. Pan slams down hard, bends her knees to absorb the impact, and straightens up between Wizard Buu and Gohan. Her clothes are shredded, her knuckles are raw and pouring blood. She's panting, her face beaten down by however long she spent hammering an invisible wall. But she's standing. She doesn't say a word.
Her hair. Did you see her hair?
That wasn't a Super Saiyan 2. That was nothing like a Super Saiyan 2.
Pan.
Pan.
Bulla, unable to move a single limb, keeps her blue eyes wide open, locked on Pan.
She broke the dimension.
Report!
Wizard Buu tilts his head. He hasn't backed off a millimeter. His satisfied smirk fades into a pout.
You are letting in a draft. It is rude to tear doors off their frames.
Gohan, what happened while I was gone?
Nobody answers. The wind moans across the ruined ground. Gohan grits his teeth and drops his eyes to the rock.
He put you all in this state. Alone.
Trunks turns his face away into the ash. Pan doesn't blink, but her eyes sweep the edge of the area, and they stop dead. Pan's eyes leave the broken bodies of Goku, Trunks, and Bula, and climb toward a rusted sheet metal shell, half collapsed, right behind Wizard Buu. Rusted crossed beams. A pane of tinted glass, cracked across one corner. Pan's eyes hold the shape half a second too long, and something in her shoulders refuses to settle. To understand what just came out of that rift, we have to go back 1 hour earlier. To the exact second space closed over her. Total silence. Oppressive. Immediate. No wind, no reverberation. Pan is hurled violently into the darkness and stops dead in mid-suspension, eyes wild. The stop is absolutely brutal because it happens against nothing. No ground, no air on the skin, no gravity to tell her up from down. In this dimensional void, her own body is the only material thing left in existence.
Ah! Get me out of here!
Pan whips around and fires a roundhouse kick into the dark.
Nothing. Not even air resistance.
She throws out an arm and rakes the space with dozens of energy spheres, then brings her hands together to release a massive shockwave, screaming with rage until her throat tears.
Break! Ah! Let me out!
The golden beam shoots into the black, runs dead straight, then slowly dissolves without a single detonation. No flash, no echo. Her attacks hit absolutely no surface. There's nothing here to break.
My strikes don't bounce back. The energy just dies on its own. It's a prison with no walls. It's infinite! 1110, 1111. Am I counting from the start again? Has it been 10 minutes or 3 days? Time doesn't move here.
Pan abruptly stops thrashing. Her arms fall limp at her sides, floating with nothing to anchor them. Nervous exhaustion drains the oxygen out of her. She floats, chest heaving. The silence crushes her. More than the dark, it's the absence of echo that breaks her will on the spot.
I'm the strongest in the universe. I have enough power to pulverize a galaxy, and it's literally useless. I'm a full battery plugged into nothing. Grandpa yelled at me not to go. He'd seen the trap, and I charged in anyway. I let my temper take the wheel. That thing used my own aggression to lock me outside.
Suddenly, she thinks about what's happening on the other side of that barrier, right now.
Bula, Grandpa, Trunks, and Gohan, they're not at my level. My anger sentenced me to this void, and by not being there, I just sentenced them along with it.
Pan stops fighting the dark, letting her guard and her muscles go completely slack. In the infinity of that dead dimension, Pan floats in perfect darkness, her face turned toward the void, eyes wide open, total silence. Not a sound, not one heartbeat outside her own. For the very first time in her existence, there is absolutely no one around her. No eyes to size her up, to wait on her, or to fear her.
Nobody's watching me. First time in my life. And the worst part is, they never asked me for anything. Bula, Grandpa, Trunks, never. They'd have let me wreck everything and thought it was great. It's me. I'm the one holding back. Always have been. Because I know why I exist. The other Bula didn't have me. She built me. In a world where everyone was already dead, She decided the only answer left was to build someone strong enough that it would never happen again. So every time I go all the way, I prove her right. Every time I hit harder than everyone else, I prove she was right to make me like this. That I'm not someone. That I'm an answer to a problem. So I keep a margin. Always. So I can keep telling myself I'm something other than what I was made for.
She hangs there in the black, perfectly still. And the next thought arrives with no warning, colder than all the rest.
They're dying. And I'm here protecting the idea I have of myself. Fine. She was right. Let her be right.
So Pan does what she has never done in her life. She takes her own theory all the way.
The dorsal plexus. Not the heart, not the rage. There, between the shoulder blades. I know exactly how it works. I'm the one who proved it to her. Except I've never opened the flow all the way. Not once. And not because I thought I'd hit a ceiling. I know perfectly well there isn't one. It's just that, to check, I'd have had to do it in front of them. And that day, they'd have seen exactly what I am.
Pan closes her eyes. Her stiff shoulders drop all at once and fall into complete physical surrender. A very long exhale escapes through her mouth, a deep release. She opens the valve all the way. The energy floods in one solid mass into the nerve cluster between her shoulder blades at a rate nobody has ever had to take, and the plexus holds. The flow climbs her spine and never stops pouring out. Pan's eyebrows vanish from her face. Her blue hair explodes instantly into a colossal golden mane that ripples down to the small of her back. The entire void starts to roar around the anomaly that is Super Saiyan 3.
I'm scared. It's overflowing. I didn't know I could hold something this monstrous.
The nothingness finally reacts. Until now, the darkness didn't resist, because Pan's blows weren't dense enough for this dimension to exist for them. Now, the fabric of space starts creasing in pain all around her aura.
The wall is there. I finally got heavy enough to touch it.
Pan clenches her right fist and punches the empty space in front of her. A dull impact answers, like a seismic fault shifting under the ocean. The first blow drives a violent ripple of distortion through the darkness. The second, thrown with the full weight of her body, blows a glowing fracture open in the black. The third, the decisive one, literally tears the dimension from top to bottom, letting a blazing outside light bleed through.
Don't die before I get there.
Pan drives her hands into the blinding light, grips both edges of the dimensional tear, and starts pulling. And that is how the sky tore in two. 1 hour of nothing ended by a fist. Back in the crater, the present picks up exactly where it stopped. Pan standing between Wizard Buu and Gohan, waiting for an answer nobody wants to give.
How long was I gone?
An hour. Maybe less.
An hour. Pan takes the number without moving an eyelash. 1 hour was enough to reduce everything still standing after Vegeta's death to this.
Then explain to me what you're doing here. Here, specifically.
Bulla squeezes her eyelids shut, unable to speak. Gohan braces on his good knee, takes a step toward a crater, and kneels down.
Gohan. What did that thing come here for?
Gohan slowly pushes aside a sheet of melted metal. Underneath, miraculously intact in the middle of the ash, sits a small clay pot with a green sprout in it.
He lived here, Pan. We got here half a second too late.
No, that's absurd. I'm supposed to come Thursday. I come every Thursday afternoon to trim his plants.
Pan.
He raised me. He's the one who stood watch so I could sleep back there in the ruins. He's my uncle.
It is fascinating how vivid his memories of you were. Thursday afternoons, really? That was the final pathetic little thought running through him just before I absorbed him.
Pan's face empties of absolutely all expression as she stares at Wizard Buu. Goku, Gohan, Trunks, and Bula watch her. The air around her stops trembling all at once, replaced by a cold, lethal emptiness, and a very low hum, right at the edge of infrasound, begins to saturate it. Pan promises no revenge. She doesn't scream. But gravity suddenly crashes down on the crater. Without her making the slightest motion, the air pressure turns unbearable, and the scorched ground starts shaking violently under her boots.
Bula, take Grandpa and get back! As far as you can.
Pan breathes out deeply. Her fists open, her shoulders drop. Before she makes a single sound, massive slabs of rock lift slowly around her, ripped loose by the distortion of gravity. Pan raises an expressionless face toward the black clouds. Goku, Gohan, Trunks, and Bula drag themselves backward to get away from her. A blazing golden aura explodes outward. But instead of spreading out in majesty, it contracts with unbelievable violence, crushing down on her skin like a burning vice. The sky crackles. Dozens of blue bolts split the air and strike her from the outside in, driving cruelly into her flesh. Pan's face twists in agony. Her brow ridge juts forward, heavy and primitive. And this time, the golden mane is forced out strand by strand, against the lightning, all the way to the small of her back. All at once, the light steadies. The horrific noise gives way to an absolute silence, infinitely more terrifying. The Super Saiyan 3 floats a few centimeters off the ground, bathed in a deadly stillness.
I never managed to get past that level. That's incredible.
You have got to be kidding me.
I've got nothing left to measure with. He took my visor, and I don't need it. I can feel her in my teeth.
For the first time since this nightmare started, Wizard Buu slowly unfolds his arms. He doesn't back off a millimeter, but his palms slide down along his sides, ready to block. It's the greatest tribute he can pay.
Ah, so that is what I felt. Did you never wonder why I set you aside with a spell instead of breaking you like the others? Because at that precise moment, I was not a match for you. Against them, I had time. Against you, I had exactly one opening. I took it. That was an hour ago. I have changed a great deal since.
Without a word, Pan steps forward and sets the tip of her boot on the scorched ground. A short geological crack answers, dull and final. Under the titanic pressure of that single step, the giant crater splits clean in two. Pan didn't even look like she moved, and she's already gone. A sonic boom rips across the plane, breaking the sound barrier a fraction of a second late. Wizard Buu barely gets his arm up to block before she's already behind him. His face tightens, outpaced at last. Pan pivots on herself with absolute fluidity. Before he can finish the defensive motion, Pan's elbow buries itself in the back of his neck. The crack of his spine rings out like a rifle shot. Without losing a millisecond, the Saiyan follows through. Her knee slams into the monster's chest, folding him violently in half. Launched like a cannonball, Buu is blasted backward at insane speed. He punches clean through a massive rock hill, pulverizing it into a giant cloud of rubble. The radial shockwave sweeps the battlefield, tearing up slabs of burned earth and tossing the wounded around on the ground. Shin and Kibito throw themselves face down, hands over their heads, shielding from the rain of razor debris. Buu tears backward through the air, unable to stop his fall, his body twisted by the momentum. But Pan is already waiting on his path. Hanging high above him, she brings both fists together and hammers them down onto his skull. The monster is driven into the ground like a meteor, blowing out a gaping crater with an apocalyptic roar.
What is that gap? She was sitting on all of that.
She had never fought at full power. Not once.
Wow, it's crazy being that strong.
Bula, flat on her back, watches the scene without the faintest hint of relief. Pan lands hard on her opponent's chest, pinning him to the rock. The monster looks finished. but Bulla's analytical eyes are fixed solely on the creature's skull.
That's wrong. His vents never pulled in air. He hasn't triggered his time anomaly once.
Target the core. End it.
Deadly calm, her mind locked on the objective, Pan raises her right arm skyward, charged white hot, ready to disintegrate the wizard's head for good. The fist comes down. A savage hiss cuts the air, like a valve greedily sucking it in. Pan's right arm comes down. The energy of the blow pulverizes the ground for 100 meters, blasting up a geyser of molten rock. But the center of the crater is empty. Pan stays frozen, fist sunk into the earth.
Nothing. Nobody is faster than me. I should have caught his acceleration. He didn't accelerate. There was nothing left to catch.
Pan, watch his skull! It sucks in air right before he vanishes, and it spits steam when he comes back. Hit the steam!
Pan pivots instantly. She reads the monster's materialization point 30 meters out.
I get there first.
She blows through the sound barrier and fires a straight punch into empty space. The fist goes through nothing. Wizard Buu hasn't appeared there yet. She calculated the perfect geometric position, but she was off by a second. Behind her, a powerful jet of hissing steam goes off. Pan spins in a flash, locks her eyes on the white mist escaping the slits in his skull, and unloads a full-power roundhouse kick. Her boot passes straight through Wizard Buu's residual silhouette. Bulla, still flat on her back, tenses, too slow by a decisive fraction. The window of vulnerability has closed.
My speed is completely useless. The problem isn't being fast. It's that the trajectory itself doesn't exist. This is my uncle's power, right in front of me. And I can't even see where it starts. What am I missing?
A shrill hiss, air sucking in. Before she can finish the thought, a heavy heel slams into her right temple. It comes out of nowhere, with no prior kinetic buildup at all. Pan is violently thrown onto her side. Before she hits the ground, the air hisses again. Wizard Buu materializes his knee directly into her spine. The vertebrae crack horribly under the inhuman pressure. Pan coughs up a spray of blood that scatters through the air. A third impact, a backhand with tectonic weight behind it, catches her full in the jaw and sends her plowing through the burned rock for dozens of meters.
This is pathetic. Did you sincerely believe that deploying more brute force would change anything against a power that cancels time?
Pan stops rolling at the bottom of the crater, face down in the dirt. The massive golden aura wrapped around her sputters pitifully, then dies out in one last electric crackle. Pan's long golden hair shortens instantly, falling back to the nape of her neck as it returns to a dull blue. Goku crawls painfully toward her, one hand reaching into empty air. The strongest of them has just fallen. Nobody at the bottom of the crater can lift a hand. At the edge of the destruction, Shin and Kibito stand frozen, completely powerless.
That was our apex. We played our best card, and it just burned.
Defensive formation. Stay together. I have nothing left to order.
The analyzer is silent. The combat model is void. I no longer hold a single usable data point.
Bulla's blank mask finally cracks. She turns her head painfully toward her daughter.
Forgive me, Pan. They should have given you more than 2 miserable markers.
Your markers were the only thing that worked. I'm the one who couldn't use them.
We tried hitting harder. We tried moving faster. We hit him all at once! And none of it did anything. It's like he isn't even there when we swing!
Wizard Buu walks calmly between the broken bodies. He smooths a crease in his cape with absolute grace.
These little distractions were entertaining. I intended to absorb you earlier. I have changed my mind. Your blood produces anomalies. This child is the proof. And I want nothing of this family inside me. I will simply delete you.
The monster picks his target and stops dead in front of Gohan's broken body.
The prince is dead. Piccolo and my uncle are absorbed, there's no one left. The list is finished.
Wizard Buu raises his right hand above Gohan's face, fingers straight and pressed together like a blade. The motion is committed. He is not trying to absorb him. He is going to put him down. A man's voice suddenly cuts through the silence, carried on the wind from very far away, perfectly relaxed and familiar.
Well, well! Looks like you guys started the party without me!
A hard, dense impact rings out, like a forge hammer striking an anvil. Wizard Buu's right arm stops dead a few centimeters from Gohan's forehead. The killing blow is not dodged, and it is not deflected. It is simply and purely stopped. Locked in place by a human hand, bare. Wizard Buu's black-gloved hand is held fast by a man in jeans, sneakers, and a badly buttoned plaid shirt. Krillin has intercepted him.
Sorry I'm late, guys. Traffic was insane coming out of the restaurant. Marin's going to kill me.
He gently releases the monster's wrist. His easy grin vanishes the instant his eyes sweep over the shattered bodies lying in the crater.
Okay, you guys really got wrecked. Don't move a muscle. I've got this.
Stretched out on the rock, Pan stares at the newcomer, breath caught in her throat. In front of her eyes, the man who coldly murdered her uncle in her timeline has just planted himself like a shield in front of her family.
It's him, the nightmare of my world. And he just saved all our lives.
A mechanical hiss, a very dry intake of air. Wizard Buu vanishes and reappears in the same thousandth of a second, his fist buried in Krillin's jaw. The shockwave pulverizes the rock under their feet for 10 meters in every direction. Krillin takes Wizard Buu's impact head on. His head snaps violently backward, but his knees refuse to bend. The bio-android barely rocks, anchored to the ground. He does not go down. Completely unable to predict where the next blow will come from, Krillin adapts the only way he can, by trial. He raises both arms in front of his face and locks in an armored guard, static and permanent. A short jet of steam, another dry hiss. Two more titanic strikes, completely invisible, hammer his forearms. Krillin takes them without flinching. His inner energy, absolutely infinite, does not drop by a single fraction of a percent.
I don't get a thing about your weird disappearing act, but if I can't see the punch coming, I just never drop my guard. That's common sense.
Something in the demon's brow finally creases.
It is not your pitiful power that irritates me. It is the anomaly of your body, which refuses to wear down.
Hey guys, fair warning! I can't hold him till Christmas. You'd better come up with something, fast!
The reprieve has begun. Colossal shockwaves echo far off across the rock, Krillin holding the monster somewhere out of sight. Goten and Tarble land carefully on the rim of the crater. They look down, out of breath, but grinning wide.
We flew super fast! Did you see?
I followed the big booms. Is that the bad guy down there?
Goten and Tarble's smiles vanish all at once as they take in Gohan, Trunks, Bulla, and Pan, all broken and bloody at the bottom of the pit.
Why is everybody lying on the ground? Is the game over?
Where's my dad? Did he hit the bad guy hard?
Gohan, where's Dad? Did he go to the hospital?
The wind screams through the rocky gorge. Not one of the adults says a word. Gohan pushes himself up on his good arm. His eyes fill with tears as he looks at Goten.
Goten, Dad, the monster took him. He took him inside.
Gohan wrenches his head away toward the ground, unable to go any further. Trunks squeezes his eyes shut in front of Tarble.
Tarble, your dad made a giant light to destroy him. He's not here anymore.
Did he go far away? We'll bring him back with Auntie Bulma's magic balls, right?
But he's coming home for dinner tonight? Did it hurt when he stopped him?
Pan presses her forehead into the cold ash, her shoulders shaking from end to end.
They're ghosts. In my world, we let them die this small too. And we're doing it all over again.
Goku, flat on his back and silent for long minutes, suddenly props himself up on one elbow. His black eyes fix on Goten and Tarble with a strange spark.
Goten, Tarble, come here. I think I've got an idea. Alone, none of us can do it. Instead of all swinging on our own, we give the little energy we've got left to one single person. I already did that to gather energy for the Genki Dama. If we put everything in the same place, it works better. It's just more logical.
Give everything to who, Dad? Even Pan got crushed. Pouring all our energy into one target just makes his job easier.
Yeah, you're right. As long as we've got nobody who can carry all that, it's pointless. We'll keep the idea in our back pocket.
Wait. In my world, someone explained to me how my uncle's power works. It's about breathing, holding it. He locks his breath in, and the internal pressure climbs. I could never confirm it in a fight, but that's what I was always told.
Holding his breath. So that is what the vents are for. The intake I screamed at you about. The steam on the way out. It isn't cooling. It's him breathing.
If he releases the pressure, that's his limit. Tell me when he blows that steam, and I'll strike right then.
But I don't know. I have 2 markers, the intake and a steam, and absolutely nothing in between. I have no idea what forces him to exhale. You have the cause, but you've never seen a single one of his freezes.
Give me your timings. I'll adapt.
It's impossible out loud. This is decided in milliseconds. Words are far too slow for combat at this level.
Gohan and Trunks watch Bulla and Pan, frozen by the total helplessness of the situation.
This is absurd. We each hold 1/2 of the equation, and our halves refuse to add up.
Then we stop trying to talk to each other.
Pan pushes herself up onto her knees, ignoring the awful crack of her own spine.
If 2 halves can't communicate from the outside, then they can't stay 2. Fusion! Bulla and me.
Palia, of course. She took Android 23 apart in 3 minutes.
Nobody questions whether it can be done. That is not the question.
30 minutes.
That's all we get.
The fusion dance gives us 30 minutes and 1 attempt. Once we split, we can't do it again. Against anyone else, that's more than enough.
But him, all he has to do is wait.
Exactly. He has Hito's intelligence, and he counts better than we do. He'll dodge us for 29 minutes and pick us off at the 31st. The clock is his weapon, not ours.
The silence settles back in. It is Shin who breaks it, and his voice has changed.
Then do not use the dance!
Shin raises his hands to his ears and unhooks his 2 oval earrings. He holds them out, one in each open palm. Goku, Gohan, Trunks, Bulla, and Pan stare at him.
The Poteras. They are the birthright of the Kaioshins, and I never had any intention of parting with them. 1 on the left ear, 1 on the right ear. There is no choreography to botch, no symmetry to hold. And above all, there is no timer.
Where's the price?
On mortals, I do not know how to undo it. No one does. You would not be fused for 30 minutes.
He doesn't need to finish the sentence. Everyone has understood. And Bulla is already reaching out her hand.
Wait, Bulla, wait! Did you hear what he said? It's forever.
I heard. Give me the left one. I always take the left.
There is no deliberation, not 1 second of hesitation. Trunks stares at his sister, and he understands that she finished the math before Shin even finished his sentence.
Bulla, nobody will hold it against you if you take 10 seconds.
To do what? The variable what I become weighs nothing against the variable they all die. It isn't even a trade-off.
Bulla stretches her open hand toward Shin. Her eyes are shining, but her hand is perfectly steady.
Great, so I'm never getting a boyfriend. Ever. I'm going to be a 3rd person for the rest of my days. Wonderful. Truly wonderful. That said, on a strictly cognitive level, fusing with someone whose quotient is exactly mine is the optimal scenario. 0 dilution. My intelligence won't be watered down. If it had been you, Trunks, I honestly think I'd have preferred to die.
Screw you.
She's crying.
I'm not crying. It's the ash.
A dull, apocalyptic detonation rolls in from far off. The ground shakes under the invisible blows Krillin is absorbing. Shin sways on his feet and stays upright only because Kibito is holding him up.
I never understood any of your variable stuff, but I trust you two completely, girls.
Left for one, right for the other. Never the same side, or nothing will happen.
And know this, the Kaioshins have worn these earrings for millennia without ever lending them out. What he just did has never been seen before.
Bulla gets to her feet stiffly, wiping the ash from her cheek. She takes the left earring from Shin's palm. Pan takes the right.
On 3.
On 3.
They raise their hands to their ears at the same moment. And in the second before the world stops counting them as 2, Pan says something she has never said.
If we fail, it's okay. Mom?
Bulla doesn't answer. She doesn't even blink. But something locks in her jaw, and the movement that follows is perfect. Bulla and Pan stare hard at each other, eyes locked, an oval earring gleaming between the fingers of each. Their auras ignite. There is no choreography, no countdown, just 2 hands rising toward 2 ears, 3 meters apart. It's short. It isn't short enough. 50 meters away, Wizard Buu stops dead in the middle of the fight. He turns his head slowly toward the 2 girls. A very long mechanical hiss drags through the air. The vents in Wizard Buu's skull suck in air with unusual force. Time freezes. The world stops. The monster stands perfectly still, arms folded, gaze fixed coldly on the 2 hands suspended mid-rise. 5 seconds of pure, absolute analysis pass in a dead and silent dimension. A very faint white smoke escapes the slits in his skull. The wind abruptly takes back its rights. Krillin blinks, his fist stopped hard in empty air, completely unable to understand the jump in time that just happened.
Poteris. The Kaioshin has given his Poteris to mortals. The result will be statistically unmanageable, and it will be permanent. But your cover keeps me from reaching them before the metal touches skin!
What are you talking about?
The monster's genius has just made its ruling. If he can't destroy the weapon in time, he only has to delete the time itself. The reprieve. He turns away from the girls and faces the bio-android. Wizard Buu's abdomen tears open, spitting out an enormous mass of liquid pink flesh that drops straight down onto Krillin. Krillin reads the attack a fraction of a second too late. The viscous flesh comes down like a giant net. He has the reflexes and the speed to dodge upward, but if he jumps, the pink matter hits Pan and Bulla directly behind him. Krillin watches the flesh come. He drops his center of gravity firmly, locks his heels into the ash, and spreads his arms wide to make a screen. It is a clean, deliberate choice. The sticky matter slams into him and instantly begins swallowing him whole.
Hey girls! Left and right, yeah! Don't mix them up, that'd be a shame!
Pan's hand keeps rising toward her right ear. Her eyes, though, stay locked on Krillin, swallowed alive by the flesh.
The killer of my world. He didn't even try to dodge, so he could cover us.
Neither hand stops. The pink mass retracts and snaps violently back into the demon's body. An unheard-of blast of energy tears through the air. The monster's aura turns crushing. Wizard Buu's power climbs a terrifying tier. He has just absorbed infinite energy. Wizard Buu pivots toward Pan and Bulla, whose oval earrings are now a centimeter from their lobes. In a sonic boom that rips through the crater, the monster launches himself at them. Wizard Buu drops onto his target. Arms still raised in the final phase of the ritual, Pan and Bulla are utterly defenseless. They can neither dodge nor break the motion. Goku, unable to stand on his legs, crawls through the ash and throws his whole weight onto Wizard Buu's boot. The monster crushes him underfoot without slowing a single centimeter and raises his right arm to cut Pan down. Gohan lunges into the path and takes Wizard Buu's strike head-on, his ribcage caving in before he is thrown clear. Trunks throws himself in next, clamping onto the demon's neck with bare hands. He holds for half a second before being torn off and smashed into the rock. Shin and Kibito finally throw up a pathetic kinetic wall, punch through at once like a dead leaf. Every one of them is swept aside without mercy. None of them truly slows the monster's charge, but the sum of their sacrificed bodies has just stolen the one decisive second from him. Goten and Tarble stare at the horror from the heights, petrified. Tiny witnesses, unable to help. The two hands finish their rise. A shrill, desperate hiss. The skull vents devour the surrounding air in enormous gulps. The monster is 1 meter away. He begins his final dive to freeze the world one last time. The two oval earrings close on Pan's and Bulla's ears at the same instant. An impossible light bursts from the point of contact. It is not an ordinary energy glow, nor a burning flame. It is a geometric anomaly. It does not shine. It erases. An absolute white, solid and blinding, devours the pit instantly, swallowing the shadows, the silhouettes, and the monster himself in the space of a heartbeat. There are no bodies anymore. No faces at all. The white eats matter.
Ah! I can't see anything!
I've never felt anything like this. Never. It's not just strong. It's something else.
That signature. The very structure of space should not be able to hold what I am sensing right now!
What have you just brought into the world?
Without answering, the white purity keeps spreading, drowning the sound, the rock, and the sky, devouring the world down to the last line. An immaculate white light saturates everything, then slowly clears away over the ruins of the crates. The white pulls back, swallowed by the dust. At the center of the vitrified rock, a lone shadow takes shape, perfectly still. She comes into view in strokes. First, a thick head of blue hair, then the gleam of an oval earring on the left ear, then the very same gleam on the right. The air crackles around the silhouette. Her outfit blends the lines of both their battle suits into one. Wizard Buu holds his motion. His reptilian face tightens as he studies the newcomer without a word. He does not so much as smirk. Piccolo's arrogance fades behind Hito's coldness. He probes this new equation, and the result of his analysis displeases him immediately.
This is not a simple addition. The very structure of her ki has mutated.
On the ground, Goku props himself up on a shaking arm. Gohan helps Trunks lift his head. Higher up, on the rim of the crater, Goten and Tarble look down at the shape below.
That's incredible. I've never felt power like that.
They did it! Shin's earrings worked!
Except Pan and Bulla don't exist anymore. I just lost both my sisters in one shot.
Big brother, who's the lady with the blue hair? Intake before the stop. Thermal release after the stop. Window of vulnerability confirmed.
Brapan does not spare the survivors a glance. She does not introduce herself. She gathers Bulla's theoretical eye and Pan's martial measure into one single thought. With no cry at all, Brapan's blue hair turns to gold and bristles up. A calm golden aura wraps around her, and Wizard Buu watches her without moving. A Super Saiyan. The first tier, the one everyone here has been clearing for years. She stops there and clearly does not consider it worth going any further. A boot crushes gravel with a sharp, heavy crunch. Brapan takes a first step toward Wizard Buu, her eyes staying locked on the monster. Trunks pulls away from Gohan. He stares hard at Brapan's motionless back, refusing to blink.
Shin. Once we've killed him, how do we separate them?
Shin keeps his arms hanging at his sides. Beside him, Kibito looks away in silence.
We do not. The Potara fusion is absolute. I know of no method to undo it on mortals. No one has one.
My twin sister. That's it. It's finished.
That thing absorbed my father, then Krillin! The cost of this one day is an absolute nightmare!
Drop the emotional accounting. We made the decision together.
Brapin turns her head slightly. Her profile is martial, completely devoid of the slightest regret.
The survival odds were 0. It was the only option left, and we took it. Now we're going to smash his skull in.
Bulla's cold precision and Pan's blunt brutality just landed in the same sentence, with no transition. It's that seam that closes the survivors' throats.
They made their choice. We're not going to insult them by hanging our heads.
A long sigh of exasperation echoes through the silence of the crater. Wizard Buu spreads his arms, a nasty smirk stretching across his face.
What insipid melodrama. Rest assured, I will crush her first. You will not have to weep for very long.
Brapin charges Wizard Buu. The ground explodes under her boots. Brapin strikes first, a lightning percussion, mathematical. Her fist sinks into the monster's plexus, pulverizes his rib cage, and comes out through his back. She is clearly faster. She is stronger. But the pink flesh seals itself back up before she has even pulled her arm out. The advantage is real, but the margin is thin. The warrior follows up with a diving hook that disintegrates half of her opponent's face. A second later, the creature's anatomy reassembles perfectly, as if the impact had never existed. Dull impacts echo across the crater, air whistling where their bodies tear through it. Outmatched in raw speed, the Jin compensates. He fakes a retreat, exploits a perfect blind angle inherited from Piccolo's experience, and surges up under the Saiyan's footing to hurl her into a cliff face. Brapin rebounds and dives back at him, but a violent magical discharge bursts from her enemy's palms, a binding spell on impossible trajectories, one that no amount of brute force lets you dodge, and it stops her dead in her charge. From the rubble, Gohan and Trunks follow every exchange without being able to move a finger.
Her footing is better and she's taking the initiative. But it's not enough to finish it!
Every time she scores, he erases it.
A sharp hiss cuts the air, the sudden intake of the monster's vents. Then, the wall. The creature's skull vents suck the air in. The world freezes. Brapin takes a massive strike she never saw coming. The shot catches her flush on the jaw. She smashes violently into the ground, pulverizing the rock for several meters. She is back on her feet at once, without a trace of real damage. But she has understood.
Stopping time doesn't make you stronger. It just hands you the first hit. And when the gap between us is this thin, whoever strikes first necessarily wins the exchange. Being superior isn't enough. I have to open a gap so absolute that your second volley stops being worth anything at all.
Wizard Buu floats above her, arms folded in a posture of absolute superiority.
I readily grant your physical superiority. But that was never the question.
Brapin sizes up her opponent in silence. She takes a step back, steadies her footing, and makes a decision. She stares at the monster with an icy calm.
I will not keep any margin!
Without a cry, without the slightest muscular tension, she steps over the second tier. Her hair suddenly grows out down to her hips. Her eyebrows vanish. Super Saiyan 3 engages with a disconcerting ease. The vents hiss sharply. Time stops. The monster freezes the timeline and unleashes a devastating hook with everything he has. Time starts again, and he hits empty air. Brapin is already behind him and breaks his vertebrae with a single chop. The Jin reforms and screams, spitting magic salvos at point-blank range. The warrior walks straight through the beams without even blinking, grabs the monster's antenna and smashes him into the ground. He freezes time again, tries to run her through. But when reality picks back up, his own arm is torn off before he has touched her. The domination is total. Humiliating. Brapin links a combination of mathematical brutality that dislocates every limb of the monster faster than he can regenerate. The gap has become absurd. Stolen time buys him nothing anymore. On the ground in the rubble, Trunks and Gohan clench their fists with hope.
It's over. He's getting taken apart.
Brapin calls her strike as she cocks her fist back. A key sphere of terrifying density lights up in her palm. This is the finishing blow, and then the tear gives out, all at once, with no gradual fade at all. The golden aura dies in mid-motion, and the colossal mane pulls back into her scalp. The fist still smashes into the creature's face, but the impact carries nothing more than the power of the first tier now. Wizard Buu takes the shock without backing off a single millimeter. Brappan's fist crushed flat against his cheek.
This body is new and does not carry a single injury. But I was born with the reserves of 2 girls who were already empty. This third tier burns fuel faster than I can keep up with.
She springs back out of range and settles her aura down at the first tier.
I'm not in pain. I'm out of fuel. This is the only level I can hold.
Wizard Buu looks her over from head to foot. His combined intellect has read the whole situation in a fraction of a second. He straightens up without hurrying, setting his jaw back into place, and his entire bearing flips over. The terror gives way instantly to absolute arrogance. Brappan slams into Wizard Buu and sends him flying into a wall of rock. At the first tier, the Saiyan still keeps the upper hand. She drops onto the monster, deflects a vicious backhand without effort, and lands a knee that shatters his sternum. The physical superiority is still there, but the gap is no longer absurd. And with a reduced margin, stealing time becomes the decisive weapon all over again. A sharp hiss escapes from the Jin's vents, and the timeline freezes. Off the first blow, the creature plants a devastating uppercut under the warrior's guard. Time starts again. Brappan takes the impact hard, lifts clean off the ground, and rolls through the rubble.
I have no reason at all to face you fairly. The bald human handed me an infinite energy generator, while you are burning out by inches. All I have to do is wait.
The Jin changes his strategy completely. From now on, he refuses all contact. Brappan chains her strikes, but the monster slips every one of them by liquefying. When she winds up a roundhouse kick, he stretches like rubber and coils around a stone pillar. When she throws a barrage of ki at him, he teleports out of range, leaving her to waste her energy on empty air.
His math is right. If he refuses the engagement, I lose by exhaustion.
Goku, stretched out flat in the dust, pushes himself up onto his elbows. His eyes shine with sudden understanding.
She's not short on strength, boys. She's short on fuel.
We're gonna do what I said earlier. We give her everything we've got, like for a Genki Dama.
If he works out what we're doing, he'll stop time and execute us on the spot.
Then we do it behind his back. Brappan?
The warrior stays perfectly still, her eyes locked on the creature, ready to spring.
Keep fighting and turn him around. Keep him facing you. Boys, no shouting, nobody stands up all at once. We line up carefully in his blind spot. And whatever you do, nobody goes near her. She's in close. We send it all from a distance.
Understood.
She bends her knees and takes off. She traces a wide curve, attacking on a lateral axis that forces the Jin to pivot on himself to block. The monster comes around to face her, his back turned completely on the survivors. Brappan chains a deluge of blows at the first tier, forcing Wizard Buu to block. On the front line, she harries him without let-up, nailing his attention in place and blocking his field of vision entirely. Far behind her, well out of the monster's reach, the survivors hold their palms out toward her back. Nobody touches her. Nobody can reach her. The ki leaves their hands in thin, silent threads that cross the crater without a single flash.
For my sister.
For my father.
I'm giving everything I've got, even if I don't understand any of it.
And mine's for my daddy, Vegeta.
Goku brings up the rear. He gives last, and he gives the most. Off to the side, Shin and Kibito kneel down in turn, palms open toward Brappan's distant back. 2 new threads of light join those of Goku, Gohan, Trunks, Goten, and Tarble.
We are not fighters, but we do have energy, and she needs it.
7 streams converge on one single back. Nobody counts them, nobody sorts them. That is precisely why nobody notices how many of them belong to Saiyans. The threads settle between her shoulder blades and melt into her without a sound. The switch is instantaneous. The golden light climbs into a blinding blaze, then contracts all at once. Silence drops over the crater. Not one more sound of energy anywhere. Absolute silence. The dust parts, Brapin's silhouette has slimmed right down, losing its hypertrophied muscle. Her hair, short now, shines a deep red, and so do her eyes. The crackling aura is gone, replaced by a fluid flame, without a single spark, dead calm.
Her ki disappeared completely. It's like there's nobody standing in front of him anymore.
Did the transfer fail? Did all that energy just evaporate?
He looks super pretty in red.
Nobody picks up on the child's innocence. Shin, for his part, drops heavily to his knees, unable to stop staring at his own hands.
This is not emptiness. This is divine ki! I recognize it because it is my own, except mortals cannot perceive it. That is why none of you can feel anything anymore! But I do not understand. A mortal cannot obtain this. It is not learned. It is not passed on. You are born with it, or never. I center my energy like the rest of you, without even touching her. And I have no idea what we have done!
A god? So does that mean our plan worked?
Facing the Red Warrior, Wizard Buu takes a step back. He can no longer read a single trace of ki. And yet, the air is heavy. The dust stays pinned to the ground, and his own flesh shrinks back on its own, the way it does before something too large to be looked at straight on.
Your energy has vanished. I saw absolutely nothing coming.
That is exactly what terrifies him. His senses swear to him there is nobody there, and the pressure crushing him screams the opposite. For the first time since his birth, the monster is afraid. Brapin raises a slender hand in front of her face, watching the red flames slide across her fingers.
Time does not matter anymore.
Wizard Buu opens the vents on his skull wide, staring straight at Brapin. A shrill hiss cuts the air. Then, absolute silence. Time freezes. Buu launches himself, fist cocked. But in the middle of his charge, he hesitates. His internal radar is screaming into nothing. The huge golden beacon that used to guide him is gone. He has a full second and no idea where to aim the blow. Blind, he strikes at random, where she stood a second earlier. Time starts again on a flat snap of sound. Brapin is not there anymore. She has appeared at his side. She sets 2 fingers against his ribs with an almost gentle slowness. The invisible shockwave passes straight through the monster's body, and he collapses. At the bottom of the crater, Goku and Gohan struggle to follow the action with their eyes.
I can't see anything. I can't even read how she's pushing off the air.
Her stance hasn't changed. That's what scares me.
Buu gets back up and freezes time a second time. Faced with the total absence of ki, he sweeps the space with a colossal wave of energy. When time returns, his attack has cut nothing but rock. Brapin glides above him. With one simple motion of her flat hand, she shears his right arm clean off.
You are wearing yourself out.
Third stop. Buu's hiss comes in ragged bursts. He fires a barrage of occult beams in every direction. When time picks up again, Brapin slips between the shots with perfect economy of movement, sets her fist against the pink chest, and drives it in with no wind-up at all. A viscous tearing sound answers, and Buu's torso bursts open. A gaping hole runs clean through his chest. He staggers backward. The pink flesh boils up to close the wound, but the regeneration slows down considerably. The cells struggle, stretching limply without ever managing to seal. Wizard Buu goes still, one knee on the ground, the stump of his severed arm hanging there without growing back. The monster stops repairing his body. He breathes long and slow, eyes fixed on nothing. In his gaze, the predator's instinct goes out, replaced all at once by the mechanical coldness of Dr. Hito.
My physical power is inferior. My temporal advantage is cancelled out by my sensory blindness. The probability of victory through direct confrontation has fallen to 0.
He rises slowly, his chest still punched through, and his voice does not waver.
So I will no longer try to defeat you.
Wizard Buu slowly turns his head toward Goku, Gohan, and Trunks, lying on the ground, then lifts his eyes to the rim of the crater where Goten and Tarbell are standing. He hovers above the battlefield, his gaze sliding from Broppin down to the wounded in the pit. The monster has changed targets. He is no longer trying to hit the divine creature. A dry hiss, then silence. Time freezes. Buu moves instantly to bring his heel down on Gohan. But when time returns, Broppin is already there. She blocks the pink foot with one hand, with disconcerting ease.
This is pointless.
She cocks her other arm, but Buu has already triggered his power again, and a fresh hiss splits the air. Another freeze. Broppin loses sight of the monster. When reality picks up again, Buu is at the far opposite end, firing a killing beam at Trunks. Broppin cuts in just in time, deflecting the shot with the back of her hand. The shockwave rips up the ground, and Trunks is thrown violently against the rock wall. Broppin grits her teeth. She is infinitely stronger than he is, but she cannot be everywhere. With every interception, the wizard freezes time to break away and attack another wounded body. He is not winning, but he is no longer losing. On the rim of the crater, Goten and Tarbell back away from the edge, terrified.
Why is the monster looking at us?
A shrill hiss again, and another stop falls. Time restarts on a double detonation. Buu has split his attack. A gigantic blade of air drops toward Goku and Gohan at the bottom of the pit, while an occult sphere dives straight at the two children up top. Broppin has to choose. She does not choose. Her red eyes track both trajectories. Compare the speeds. Hold on to one angle. Then her veil of flame bursts open. She dives under the blade of air, pivots, and catches it with her heel. Not to break it, to lift it. The wall of wind changes course a hair from Gohan's skull, spirals back up the pit, and slams into the occult sphere exactly vertical to the children. The two attacks annihilate each other very high above the crater, in a white sun. Below, Goten and Tarbell get nothing but the blast wind and a rain of dust. Broppin lands in front of them before the detonation even reaches them. She did not have to take a single hit. Down in the pit, Goku drives his fist into the ground.
Damn it! We're in her way! She's got more than enough power to destroy him, but she has to spend all her time saving us. We've turned into the weak point of our own weapon!
My analysis was perfect. It is physically impossible for me to defeat you, but I have no need to do so. I only have to keep you occupied until the end.
Broppin lands slowly in the middle of her own. She goes completely still. Martial superiority will not be enough. She has just understood that she has to change the very nature of the problem. Wizard Buu stretches both hands out in front of him, his eyes filling with blood and lighting up. Since physical force and stopping time have both failed, the monster plays his last card, Babidi's magical arsenal. The scenery tears apart. Around Broppin, the rocky crater disappears into a clinging mist. Suddenly, Trunks lunges out of the shadows, his face twisted with hate, a blade in his hand, ready to stab her. The Saiyan cocks a devastating fist to put him down, but she stops the blow a millimeter from the target.
An illusion cannot fool both of my minds at the same time.
With one fluid backhand, she sweeps the psychic mirage away, and the false Trunks evaporates into nothing. Wizard Buu reappears, hands joined in the shape of a cup, chanting an incantation.
Paparappa!
The teleportation bubble shoots out to banish her to the far edge of the universe, the way it took Pan before. Broppin does not even try to dodge. Drawing on Pan's memories, she extends two fingers and strikes the empty air at the exact point where the spell knots itself together. The magical weave bursts into dust, but the maneuver has slowed her down. A dry hiss, a silence, then a temporal snap. When time returns, the wizard has multiplied himself. Three perfectly identical occult decoys threaten Goku, Gohan, and the two children at once. Broppin drops on them, destroying each clone with a single millimeter-perfect strike. She takes no damage, but she loses precious seconds clearing the area, letting the real monster pull back to safety. Shin studies what is left of the magical residue, his jaw clenched tight.
Pure manipulation. But the ratio is absurd!
He is spending a colossal amount of energy on illusions that cannot even stretch her!
Brapin lands, her veil of red flame perfectly calm. She is not out of breath, but the vicious circle is closing on her methodically.
As long as I chase him, he controls the distance and buys time. He has to be forced to come to me.
Brapin turns her head toward Gohan, still down on the ground, her gaze focused hard on him.
Gohan!
I'm listening.
Get ready. I need you to do exactly what I ask, without hesitating for a single second.
Brapin pushes off and settles on a rock spire, folding her arms across her chest, her red aura perfectly still. She stops chasing him entirely. She anchors her feet in the rock, lifts her chin, and addresses the monster directly with absolute coldness.
You needed to swallow 6 people just to have a chance of surviving today. And after all that, your best strategic idea comes from a 15-year-old boy.
Wizard Buu freezes in mid-flight, the antenna on his skull twitching slightly.
Hido's intellect is a cutting-edge instrument. I have assimilated it. His calculations belong to me. It is the triumph of evolution.
The triumph of evolution spends his time running from a straight fight and going after 6-year-old children. Absorbing Raditz clearly did not make you any sharper.
You are confusing flight with tactical optimization. I will freely concede that your raw power is superior to mine. That is a mathematical fact. But it is of absolutely no importance against my control of the variables.
If none of it matters, and if you are so perfect, you do not need to steal time or chase kids around to win. Prove it!
Buu squares his shoulders and the silence stretches out, heavy. Inside the monster's mind, 2 buried instincts fire at once. Hido's vain genius, who has just been called a kid, and Raditz's brute pride, which has just been called stupid. Neither one can take that without answering.
I will destroy you cleanly, face to face. I will no longer use stop time for this fight. I will crush you with my own strength alone, simply to prove to you the absolute superiority of my being.
Gohan is still down on his knees in the dust. His eyes come open wide.
She got him. She never talked to Buu at all. She aimed at Raditz's pride and Hido's, buried deep in his memory. They're the ones who just fell for it, in his place.
You just threw away your only weapon!
The divine creature slowly unfolds her arms and lifts her fist to face level. Across from her, the sorcerer tightens his muscles. His skull vents seal shut completely, closing the pact of a straight fight. Brapin and Wizard Buu launch themselves at each other, and their fists collide. The head-on impact pulverizes the floor of the crater. No magic, no stolen time. The duel is fought clean. Buu holds against the impact, carried by his ego and by Krillin's inexhaustible energy. A barrage of blows of unheard-of violence cracks out like thunder. First exchange. The sorcerer slips a hook and drives a heavy fist into Brapin's ribs, then another into her guard. The Saiyan does not even feel it.
I am breaking your stance!
She grabs the pink arm, twists it with one sharp motion, and smashes her own knee into the monster's sternum. Second exchange. Buu tries to pull away, but she is fixed to him. He cannot get a single attack back anymore.
You have no footing left!
She unleashes a rain of surgical impacts. Every strike finds a joint. The air itself tears open. The rock face caves in from nothing but the pressure of their ultra-fast movements. Goku, Gohan, and Trunks cross their arms in front of their faces to shield themselves from the storm of debris. Goten and Tarbell take cover behind them.
That's incredible. That's a real martial arts duel. She's hitting exactly where she has to, without one single wasted move.
Third exchange. Buu is crumbling. Brapin slips a desperate kick and goes in under his failing guard.
I am crushing your windpipe.
Her elbow sinks into the monster's throat. Before he can drop, she grabs his head tentacle, swings him around, and sends him flying through 3 hills in a row. Fourth exchange. The whole sky fractures under the shockwave as Brapin dives on him. She hammers him into the rock. Buu's torso is beaten to pulp. His arms come apart. The pink flesh cannot close itself fast enough anymore. Wizard Buu's face is battered and swollen. The icy arrogance is gone from his wide eyes. Pinned under the fists of a god he cannot even scratch, the monster finally understands his mistake. The calculation has just failed. The vanity gives way all at once to pure animal terror. Survival instinct pulverizes his pride. The sorcerer opens his mouth wide. His vents dilate frantically. A hoarse, desperate hiss, and the air is sucked in all at once. He freezes time. And for the very first time, he does not use it to strike. The world hangs frozen, drained of all color. Wizard Buu, his torso caved in, splits off into 4 pink masses that he slowly sets in the air, above Goku, above Gohan, above Goten, and above Tarble. Time starts again. 4 flows of flesh drop at the same instant onto the 4 wounded. Broppin is already moving, not because she chose to, because she has no choice. And he knows it.
Do not touch them!
She catches the first flow barehanded. Her fist goes straight through it without meeting the slightest resistance. There is nothing to break. There is nothing to hit. A wet, sticky sound crawls up her arm. The matter wraps around her forearm and climbs. The divine fire burns it away in whole sheets, but every sheet destroyed is instantly replaced by the next one. This is not a contest of strength anymore. It is a drowning. The 3 other flows abruptly abandon the wounded and all converge on Broppin. The monster's voice comes from everywhere at once now, spoken by the whole mass that is swallowing her.
I cannot defeat you, but I never needed to defeat you. I only need to take you.
Of course.
No! Let her go!
Goku claws forward through the dust. The red flame holds for 1 full second. 1 entire second in the middle of the pink. Then the mass closes over her, a deep, muffled intake. Then nothing at all. In the crater, Wizard Buu reforms standing, slowly, perfectly intact. Thin scarlet veins run under his pink skin. The monster breathes in. His caved-in torso closes on its own. His posture straightens, and his energy goes out completely.
I cannot feel him anymore! I cannot feel anything at all!
That means he has her. That means it's him now.
He took my sister. He took both my sisters at once.
Trunk stays down on his knees, staring at nothing. Goten clings to Tarble's arm. The 2 children are not even crying. They just watch, motionless. Nobody gets up. Nobody looks for a plan. There is nothing above her anymore, and she is inside him. Goku gets back to his feet. He does not stagger. There is not the slightest trace of a smile left on his face.
Shin, you take the kids and you get them far away from here. Another planet, another world, whatever you want. Just not here.
And you?
I'm going to try to buy some time off him. It's the only thing I still know how to do, so it may as well be good for something.
Gohan, Trunks, you go with him. You fuse and you train. 10 years, 50 years, I don't care. One day, you come back for him.
You're asking us to run.
I'm asking you to win. Just not today.
Nobody protests. That is the worst part of it. Nobody can find a single thing to say back. Wizard Buu calmly turns his head toward them and raises a hand, in no hurry at all.
The probability of escape is 0. Do not move. This will be very quick.
And he stops. The raised hand hangs there. Wizard Buu slowly lowers his eyes to his own palm, as if he were discovering it.
I should feel stronger. I have just absorbed a god. My power should have doubled. It has not moved a single point. And that divine energy, inside, it is there. I am carrying it, but it does not belong to me. That is not normal!
His face twists all at once into an expression no one has ever seen on him.
This is Not compliant!
A dry crack sounds inside the flesh. His skin lifts in waves. Something is moving underneath. A red light bleeds between his ribs, then through his mouth, then through his skull vents. The monster brings both hands to his head.
Get out of me!
A detonation tears the air apart. Wizard Buu explodes. A wall of pink smoke and scarlet light swallows the crater. Silhouettes fall slowly through the ash. The smoke pulls apart. At the center of the crater, there is no red-haired warrior anymore. There are two girls. Pan and Bulla kneel in the ash, separated, facing each other. Blue hair, no aura, no flame. A broken earring lies in the dust between them. All around them, Piccolo, Raditz, Krillin, Hito, Guldo, and Babidi lie collapsed and unconscious, covered in pink matter.
The girls? The divine key went with him! They have nothing left! Absolutely nothing!
Shin is not looking at the girls, or at the bodies collapsed around them. He is staring at a point in the dust, 50 meters away.
No! Not that!
In the ash, far away from the others, a single fragment of pink flesh contracts gently. Then, it lifts.
That is his original form. The one from before all the rest! Before he swallowed anything at all! The Majin Buu my predecessors faced.
He's smaller than before. He looks weaker, doesn't he?
He is weaker. It changes nothing. There is not a single thought left in there. No calculation. Nothing left to manipulate. Feel his energy. It is pure evil. And there is nothing else inside it!
Nobody in this crater has the strength left to stand up with him. The crater is devastated. In the ash at the front, Pan and Bulla are down on their knees. Behind them, Goku, Gohan, and Trunks lie on the ground. Goten and Tarbell stand over them, and Shin and Kibito kneel in the dust. 50 meters out, a small pink figure straightens up. The thing getting back up doesn't reach Goku's shoulder. It's scrawny, almost frail. It has none of the giant's build, none of the wizard's elegance. It stands hunched, arms dangling, head tipped to one side, like a child who hasn't decided yet what to break. A high, childish giggle drifts out across the rock. Then, it screams. The cry is shrill, and it does not stop. The wave leaves its throat and strips the ash for 300 meters. The rock splits in a star under its feet. The unconscious bodies slide through the dust like bits of straw. The scream holds no words, no threat, no intent. It's a noise. And the crater buckles. Goten and Tarbell clamp their hands over their ears and curl up against Gohan.
Why is he screaming like that?
Because he has no reason to do anything else!
Pan is still on her knees in the ash. She lifts her head toward the creature, and she is smiling.
Pan? What have you got to smile about right now?
I was just thinking. It wasn't the most logical choice.
What are you talking about?
I could have vaporized him an hour ago. I had exactly what it took to do it. And I let it go.
Bulla is the first to understand. They shared the same skull for 20 minutes.
But you don't kill your own family!
Bulla turns her eyes toward the bodies lying around them. Krillin, Piccolo, Raditz, Hito, Guldo, and Babidi, every one of them unconscious in the ash.
You let yourself be absorbed! On purpose!
It was the only door.
You didn't tell us.
He was listening to everything we said.
Yeah, that's true.
He doesn't add anything. There's nothing to add. And anyway, the pink thing just turned its head toward them. Kibito kneels beside Pan and holds both hands out over her. His palms stay dark, with no light at all. He tries a second time, then a third. His hands produce absolutely nothing.
I can't do it.
Try again!
It is not the technique, Lord Shin. It is me. I gave everything to Brapen, the same as you did. There is nothing left in me to heal anyone with.
The silence that follows is worse than the screaming before it.
So what are we then? 8 of us who can't stand up?
9. You're counting wrong.
Goku painfully turns his head toward Krillin's body, 4 meters away from him, motionless, covered in pink matter. Goku isn't looking at the creature. He's looking at his friend.
Krillin!
He hasn't woken up since he came back out.
He never gets tired. Never! He could hold that thing off all by himself. He already did it for 20 minutes.
That's the unbearable part. The answer is lying in the ash 4 meters away, and nobody in this crater has enough strength to shake it awake. Goku crawls a few centimeters toward Krillin, then stops, his arm shaking.
Krillin, get up! Please, get up!
Krillin doesn't move. Far off, the small pink creature rolls its head on its shoulders and raises one arm toward the sky.
No! No, no, no! He is not going to fight! He is not even going to look at us!
What's he doing?
What he has always done. He conquers nothing. He keeps nothing. He erases.
Above Kid Buu's raised hand, a black and pink sphere forms, swells, and crushes the air around it. The sky over the crater turns violet. The ball isn't aimed at them. It isn't aimed at anyone. It simply rises, swelling, and the rock starts lifting off the ground all across the crater. A dull rumble climbs out of the ground underneath them, continuous, and it never stops.
It isn't calibrated for a target. It's calibrated for everything. He's aiming at the planet.
The planet? Is that where we live?
Nobody answers him. Goku tries to get to his feet. His knee gives out on the second push.
Come on, one time. Just one.
His body refuses. There's nothing left inside it to burn. The sphere swells to the size of a house. Kid Buu throws his head back, mouth wide open, and laughs. 7 conscious people watch the end come, and not one of them can take a single step. A sharp, very clean crack cuts the rumble off. Something slams into the creature square in the jaw. Kid Buu is torn off the ground and thrown sideways through 2 hills. The black sphere, dropped in mid-flight, veers off and explodes very high in the sky. A far-off detonation rolls back, then a rain of rubble. The white light of the blast lights the crater from below. It also lights the figure that just sat down in the ash, on the exact spot where the monster was standing a second earlier. Chi-Chi stands at the center of the crater, her legs still raised from the kick. Beside her, C-18 lands without a sound, arms at her sides.
Chi-Chi?
Mom!
C-18 doesn't answer right away. Her eyes go around the crater, the kids, the bodies, the ash. They stop 1 second too long on an empty spot off to the side, where nobody is standing anymore.
Where's Vegeta?
It isn't a question. She already has the answer. She just wants to be told.
He pushed us out of the way. He took all of it himself.
C-18 says nothing. She doesn't move either. She stays in exactly the same position for 3 seconds, then turns her head toward the 2 smashed hills, far off, where something pink is starting to pull itself out of the rubble.
Understood.
Chi-Chi sets her foot back down and rolls her shoulder.
We felt that thing from a continent away. Well, we didn't feel anything at all, and that's exactly what made us come.
How did you cross over without him detecting you?
He can't detect us. We don't have any key to detect. That's the one useful thing that crazy old man ever left us.
Goku looks at her and finds nothing to say. She doesn't look at him.
Don't thank me, Goku. I didn't come for you.
Chi-Chi looks down at Goten and Tarbell, curled up in the dust.
I came for them.
Kid Buu bursts out of the rubble 300 meters away and charges straight at Chi-Chi and C-18, who take off to meet him. The first exchange lasts a second and a half. He's faster than they are. He's stronger than they are. Chi-Chi takes a fist in the ribs and barrel rolls 60 meters. A dull impact, then stone scraping. She gets back up. Her lip is split. Her breathing whistles. She's holding her right side. She goes back in anyway.
They won't hold! He's above them!
We know.
C-18 drops out of the monster's field of vision and reappears behind him. He hasn't followed her. He can't follow her. He has nothing to follow. The blow comes from an angle none of his senses could have warned him about, and he takes it full on. Kid Buu takes an elbow to the back of the neck, spins around on nothing, and catches Chi-Chi's knee square in the temple. They aren't winning. They don't expect to win. They break off, they come back, they break off again, and every time he loses sight of them, he loses 2 seconds looking.
He can't sense them. He's never once had to look for someone with his eyes in his whole life. He doesn't know how.
It won't last. He learns fast when he's hurting.
On his knees in the ash, Goku suddenly lifts his head. His eyes light up.
They're buying us time.
Dad?
We're out of energy. Every one of us. So we're going to go get some where there's still some left.
There's nothing left for miles, Dad.
Yes, there is.
There's a whole planet.
Nobody gets it right away. Then Gohan's eyes go wide.
The Genki Dama. You want to do it here, now!
Earlier, I asked you all to give your energy to somebody. That wasn't an attack. That was just putting everything in one place.
This is a real Genki Dama, and a real Genki Dama takes forever to fill up.
And you're planning to ask him to wait?
With the other one, the one before, there was no point even trying. He'd have stopped time and come take it right out of my hands before I even started.
And this one cannot do that anymore. He lost all of it with the old body.
Yeah, this one doesn't know how to do it anymore.
For the first time all day, we've got time. That's all I ever asked for.
Goku puts 2 fingers to his forehead and closes his eyes.
King Kai? King Kai, can you hear me?
A crackle of static answers him, like a line opening.
Can I hear you? I've been following your fight from up here for hours. I nearly swallowed my own glasses. Goku, that thing, it's the...
I know. Shin told me. King Kai, I need you to put me through to the whole planet.
The whole planet?
Everybody who can hear. I'm going to ask them for their energy.
Do you have any idea what you're asking me to do? 7 billion people who have never seen you, in a language they didn't pick, with a voice inside their skull. You're going to knock half of them off their chairs.
Yeah, do it anyway.
Goku raises both arms toward the sky. Out over the crater, Kid Buu freezes in mid-flight, head turned toward him. He leaves Chi-Chi and C-18 where they are. The monster has no calculation left, no memory, not one structured thought. But it is still an animal, and an animal knows how to recognize what, somewhere in the scenery, is turning dangerous. A shrill scream tears out of it, the whistle of ripped air behind it. It dives straight at Goku. Gohan, Trunks, Pan, and Bulla get to their feet at the same time, between Kid Buu and Goku. No golden aura, no hair-changing color. 4 figures in shredded clothes standing in the ash. Not one of them can transform. There isn't enough left inside to light anything up. They take their places anyway.
Pan, you take the high line. Gohan, you crowd him to the right. He's been breaking right on reflex this whole time. Trunks, you catch him on the way out.
With what?
With whatever you've got. It'll be enough.
4 bodies slam into a pink mass. What follows looks like none of the fights of this day. There's no display, no spray of light, no crater dug out with the back of a hand. There are 4 emptied out people throwing themselves into close quarters against something that completely outclasses them, hitting the joints because that's all they have left. Pan latches onto Kid Buu's arm with both hands. Gohan bears down on his shoulder. Trunks slams into his knees.
We're not hurting him. We're in his way.
It'll be enough!
A sweeping blow, 3 impacts against the rock. The first backhand puts all 3 of them on the ground. The second splits Gohan's brow open. The third breaks something in Trunks' arm. You can hear it from down there. Trunks lies in the dirt, his left arm hanging at a wrong angle. He pushes himself back up with his right.
Bulla. Angle.
2 meters to your left! Now!
He goes, he gets flattened. He gets up. Up near Goku, Goten and Tarble watch the adults fall and get up over and over.
How many times are they gonna go back in?
Until Goku is finished.
Goten watches his big brother get smashed into the rock for the 4th time. Then he looks at Tarble.
We're the only ones who didn't fight.
It's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two little detonations, one right after the other. Goten's hair and Tarbal's stand up and turn gold. Two tiny auras light up the ash around them.
At their age? Goten, no!
They go anyway. What they do is useless, and everybody knows it. Two 6-year-olds in Super Saiyan don't move that thing a single centimeter. Goten's fist smashes into a pink hip without even leaving a mark. Tarbal, for lack of anything better, bites the monster's arm. Kid Buu looks down at the two children clinging to him, head tilted, almost intrigued. And the creature stops. 1 full second. Not because it hurts, because it doesn't understand what this is.
Thank you!
Pan bursts in behind him, a sharp impact, then a sweeping blow. A backhand from the monster sends Goten and Tarbal flying across the crater. Chi-Chi intercepts Goten in midair. C-18 catches Tarbal. Chi-Chi sets the boy down roughly, blood running from his nose.
Have you two completely lost your minds?
We hit him!
Yes, you hit him.
1 second stolen from that monster. Nobody in this crater will ever say it didn't count.
Gohan, left!
2 seconds!
I don't have to.
Then go!
Move! He's coming back.
I know he's coming back. He always comes back.
Nobody calls for backup. Nobody asks to stop. Every time the creature starts a step toward the center of the crater, there's somebody standing in front of it. Chi-Chi limps back into the melee, right shoulder dropped. C-18 follows her, cheekbones split open.
Out of the way, kids. You've got bones that break. We don't.
You're bleeding more than I am.
Yes, but I never get tired.
At the center of the crater, arms raised, Goku hasn't moved a millimeter. A clean silence falls, as if the whole world were holding its breath. On a packed shopping street in a big city, every passerby stops at the same moment, looking up, hunting for where a sound is coming from. At that exact instant, across the entire surface of the planet, 7 billion people hear the same voice inside their skulls.
Hey, I don't really know how you're supposed to do this kind of thing, so I'm just going to say it. There's a thing where I am that's going to destroy the planet. Not a city, the planet. It already tried once, 2 minutes ago. We don't have enough strength left to stop it. So I'm asking you for something simple. Raise your arms and give me a little of your energy. Just a tiny bit is enough. You'll barely feel a thing.
On a bench, an old man raises both arms toward the sky. Next to him, a little girl copies him, laughing.
I heard this voice years ago. The first time, I didn't raise my arms.
A truck driver climbs down out of his cab and raises his hands. A whole class of school children raises their arms in a schoolyard. Far, very far from the crater, a few thousand arms go up. Goku stands alone at the center of the crater, arms raised. Above his hands, a glow no bigger than a beach ball. A few thousand out of 7 billion.
It's not enough. It's not even the start of the start.
In a suburban living room, a couple stands staring up at the ceiling. Neither of them moves. Their arms hang at their sides.
You gonna raise your hand? A voice talking inside your head, asking you for your energy.
It might be real.
What it is exactly how these things always start.
An online broadcast studio, somewhere else entirely. A young streamer talks straight into his camera, wildly overexcited.
Do not raise your arms! This is an energy harvest! They're asking for your consent. Do you understand? They can't take it if you don't give it. Just think for 2 seconds.
In 4 minutes, the number of raised arms stops going up. Down in the crater, Chi-Chi breaks off from Kid Buu, her brow split wide open, and lands hard next to Goku, spitting blood.
They're not giving anything?
They're scared.
Then let me talk to them.
King Kai, put her through to the world!
A voice answers out of the other world, with nothing at all to show for itself.
I am not a switchboard.
He does it anyway.
You! Yes, you! The one standing around in your living rooms debating it. There are 6-year-old kids lying on the ground next to me. Get your arms up!
Total silence, worldwide. In the studio, the young man freezes, mouth hanging open, then lunges down toward his mic.
Wait. That voice. I know that voice. Everybody knows that voice! That's the one from the West City archive footage. That's one of the demon doubles.
In the suburban living room, the man and the woman turn to look at each other, white as sheets.
The demon doubles are dead. Satan wiped them out. It was in every paper. There was a press conference and everything.
Then why is she talking?
Because they lied to us! She's alive! They lied to us for years, and now they're demanding our energy. Find her!
Chi-Chi stands frozen in the middle of the crater, mouth half open, blood running down from her brow. She did exactly the right thing, and she has just cost them the planet. The count of raised hands collapses. On the shopping street, people lower their arms one by one.
Of course.
It's not your fault.
It is.
In the crater, Gohan pushes up off one knee between Kid Buu and his father, his brow split, one arm running with blood.
King Kai, can you hear me?
Another one?
Put me through to the planet. 30 seconds.
Gohan spits out some dust, wipes his mouth with the back of his hand, and straightens all the way up. His voice changes. It is no longer the voice of a man in a fight.
Good evening. My name is Son Gohan. I am the Chief Executive Officer of Capsule Corporation.
In the suburban living room, the man sits bolt upright on his couch.
Hold on. That one's actually him. That's the guy from the press conferences.
I am not going to talk to you about saving the world. I am going to make you a commercial offer. As of right now, and for the next 6 minutes, Capsule Corporation is applying a 20% discount on the Capsule Phone 9. Every color, every plan, including pre-orders against the January stock.
Outside a shuttered store, a line waits under an out-of-stock sign. Every head in it comes up at once.
The discount is reserved for individuals with their arms raised at the moment of validation. Our systems detect it. You have my word as an executive, and it is legally binding.
An enormous roar goes up worldwide, swelling from everywhere at once. There is no debate. There is no doubt. There is not even 1 second of hesitation. On the shopping street, every arm shoots up at once. Outside the shuttered store, every arm shoots up. In the suburban living room, the man and the woman shove past each other, throwing their arms in the air.
Up! Get them up! We never got that model!
In his studio, the streamer sits alone in front of his camera, both arms in the air.
Okay, this is different.
They refused to save the world, and they raised their hands for a discount.
I'll remind you, it was sold out everywhere.
It worked! That's all I'm looking at.
Above the crater, a sphere of blue light swells in the sky. It is already bigger than a mountain. The whole ground is lit from underneath. The energy comes in from everywhere at once. From cities, from fields, from boats, from lines outside shuttered stores. It comes from people who understand nothing about what is at stake, and who raise their hands because their neighbor raised his. A deep, immense hum swallows every other sound. Kid Buu stops dead in the middle of the brawl, head tipped up toward the sphere. For the first time, the creature is not laughing. The monster does not understand what he is looking at. He has no memory left to recognize it, no intelligence left to analyze it. But something very old inside that body knows exactly what it is. A shriek of pure panic tears out of him. He throws himself at Goku. Pan, Gohan, Trunks, Bulla, Chi-Chi, and C-18 latch onto the pink body all at once. Arms, legs, shoulders, and pin it to the ground.
Grandpa! No!
They are not holding him. They are stealing 3 seconds off him. Goku slowly lowers his arms. The mountain of light comes down over his head and settles between his palms.
It's ready.
His knees buckle, his arms shake. The rock splits under his feet, and he carries it anyway.
Uncle's holding up the sky.
Is he allowed to?
Kid Buu tears loose with a roar, throws all 6 fighters to the ground. and rises a meter into the air.
Get clear!
They get clear. Goku throws the sphere. The wall of blue light crosses the crater and slams into Kid Buu head-on. A continuous, deafening roar drowns the world out. The creature is torn off the ground. The Genki Dama carries him straight up, drives him through the clouds, rips him out of the atmosphere.
It's climbing. It's really climbing.
Where is it taking him?
Somewhere, there is nothing left to erase.
From down below, it is nothing but a blue star climbing straight toward the sun. Goku is the only one still standing in the crater, arm still held out, watching the light climb.
You were a dangerous one. I hope someday I get to fight you for real.
The roar cuts off dead, and the blue star stops. Very high in the sky, the sphere of light stops rising. 2 small pink hands are sunk into it. He caught it. He is not sending it back. He does not have the capacity for that. He is holding it, and he is pushing.
He is holding it back! It is coming back down!
Dad, put more energy into it.
I've got none. I haven't got a single drop left.
The blue light tips slowly in the sky. It starts coming back down. All across the surface of the planet, 7 billion arms have already dropped. Goku drops to his knees in the ash, arm still raised, shaking from head to toe.
No, not now! Not now!
4 meters behind him, down in the ash, someone is coughing. A fit of it, very close, right down at ground level. Krillin opens his eyes. It takes him several seconds to work out where he is. Then he lifts his head toward the blue light coming back down out of the sky.
Seriously? I step out for 20 minutes!
Krillin?
Krillin tries to get up. His body will not follow, and he drops back onto one elbow on the first attempt. He is not getting up again today, and he knows it perfectly well.
I can't fight, Goku! There's nothing left standing in here!
He drags himself forward on his elbows, one shove at a time.
But draining me? Nobody's ever managed that!
Krillin crawls the last stretch up to Goku and lays a hand flat on his back, palm settled between his shoulder blades.
Take all of it! I'll tell you when I'm done. And I won't be done!
A deep, immense roar rises all at once out of the ash.
Krillin, it's too much. I'm not gonna...
Yes, you are!
The one tank on this planet that has never run dry just opened all the way. A second hand settles on Goku's shoulder. Raditz is on his knees behind him, half his face in the dust, and he does not turn around.
Push, little brother!
Dad?
Later, kid.
Yeah, later.
Gohan lets himself drop back into the ash, a laugh on the edge of tears. Goku's aura erupts all at once, a detonation of energy. His hair stands up and turns gold. His eyes go green. The Super Saiyan comes back the way you switch an entire city back on. Both his arms stretch straight up toward the sky.
Ah!
Far above, the blue sphere blazes up, doubles in size, and resumes its climb. High over the crater, the 2 small pink hands give way one after the other. A shrill scream goes up, very high, moving away. The howl climbs further still, and is lost. A blue star disappears into the disk of the sun. Then silence, and only the wind. There will be no regeneration. There is nothing left to regenerate. In the crater, Goku is back to normal, on all fours in the ash. Around him, Pan, Bula, Gohan, Trunks, Chi-Chi, and C-18 are down on the ground. Goten and Tarbell are still standing, motionless. Nobody cheers. Nobody has the strength for it. And anyway, this is not that kind of day. A small nasal voice wakes up off to one side in a fit of coughing. Babidi pushes himself upright in the dust, dripping with pink matter, and stares at the empty sky.
Boo? Boo! Where is he? I order you to show yourself this instant!
The wizard turns in a circle. It takes him a ridiculously long time to understand.
No. He can't have lost. He can't have lost! He's mine! He
does not finish the sentence. Piccolo, awake, sitting in the ash, simply levels 2 fingers at him without standing up.
A statue all morning. Inside that thing's gut for the rest of it.
Because of you!
A sharp crack cuts the air. Then, nothing. The wizard collapses and does not move again. Nobody turns around, nobody comments. That is all the Master of the World was ever worth. Guldo opens his 4 eyes, searches around him, completely lost. 3 meters away, Bula does not even try to get up.
The kid! Someone has to tell the kid! She was supposed to come by Thursday! She'll be waiting outside the door!
I'm here.
Guldo goes quiet. He looks at her for a long time, and he does not say anything else at all. A little further off, Hito jerks upright in the ash, glasses askew, and looks frantically around him.
Bula! Bula!
Still here too, Hedo.
She does not open her eyes. Hito drops back down to sit, one hand flat on his chest.
Okay. I'm going back to sleep then.
Tarble stands in the middle of the ash and turns slowly on the spot, looking at the empty crater.
So it's over?
I think so.
Then he can come back now.
Nobody answers. Trunks looks away. Goku looks at the ground. C-18 crosses the ash, crouches down in front of Tarble, and brings him level with her eyes.
No. But the monster's gone. You said that. I didn't say anything.
She does not explain it to him. She does not soften it. She simply pulls him against her and holds him, and that is the only thing she knows how to do with that hand.
Your father did exactly what had to be done. That's all anyone says today.
The sky stays clear above the crater. Nobody mentions a dragon, nobody mentions balls. Not tonight. Off to one side, Chi-Chi sits in the ash, her back against a rock, her right arm clamped against her, her face covered in blood. She has not moved since it ended. She is looking at the ground. C-18 comes and sits down next to her without a word and stares at the same spot on the ground.
They'll come looking for me now. They know I'm alive.
Yes.
Would you have let me talk?
No.
Liar.
A small laugh pulls a grimace of pain out of her. Neither of them says another word. They stay sitting there, side by side, looking at the same patch of ash. The one who set the tiara down, and the one who wore it. Pan and Bulla sit facing each other in the dust. Between them, in the ash, lies an earring snapped in two.
It's wrecked.
Good.
You're saying that because you don't want to go back in? I'm saying it because I liked being you.
And that's the kind of thing that gives you ideas.
Bulla opens her mouth, closes it again, and lets it go. They will never speak of those 20 minutes again. Goku sits in the ash in the middle of everyone and lifts his eyes to the brightening sky.
I ought to thank those people.
They put their hands up for a phone, Dad.
Yeah, but they put them up.
A cold wind sweeps across the crater, carrying the dust off in one long, continuous whistle. The sky vanishes, swept away by the stellar void, absolutely silent, lit by a purple and gold nebula. Dozens of light years from those ruins, a colossal temple floats peacefully in the emptiness of the universe. In a luxurious half-dark, a purple feline god stretches slowly on an enormous bed. His yellow eyes open.
Whis, I had a fascinating dream. I saw the shadow the oracle fish spoke of again. A Super Saiyan god.
Shall I prepare you some tea before we go and look into this curious intuition, Lord Beerus?
Yes, this anomaly has awakened my curiosity. Find him.